Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. Hopefully you guys can hear and I'm not J muted. Welcome Alligator and Heather.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hey ladies, we're missing Potato, so hopefully she will pop on when she can. I want to welcome you guys. I can't see, I guess it's all members tonight, so I'm like, I can't tell on Restream. But welcome, all the Roberters and the new Roberters. Welcome, welcome. We are going to be talking tonight about something that I've been wanting to share with you guys for quite some time. So I'm excited for that. Hello, Cousin Tracy. Hello, Carol. Shell, thanks for being here. Angie B. Muffin Top. Jen Isley. Heather Bratt. Happy birthday. We have a birthday in the house, ladies. Hey, Mike. It is Bella Blonde's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, lady.
Happy birthday.
Hope you got everything that your heart desired today. Oh, did you see this comment? Ava.
Yep.
We've got Ava on Facebook with a funny comment. she does a little bit right there. Does a little bit right there.
Yeah, she does.
To agree.
Oh
I will
God,
have to agree with that. Ava. You're welcome, Bella Blonde. Congrats, Mama She, on your 12-month Roberta membership. Hey, Laura W. And Maureen. You guys are amazing. Aussie True Crime. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are back in the Watts saddle. How do you guys feel about that, ladies? How are we feeling?
Apprehensive.
It's been a minute.
Nervous but exciting. I'm excited.
It's been a minute. So I have some stuff that I'm going to go over with you guys that Tammy Lee has been doing since the conclusion. What's up, Rosa? Of the Chris Watts case. But before I do that, I want to do a little refresher. Hey, Lori Staggs. I want to do a little refresher of Tammy Lee and who she is, just in case maybe someone doesn't know. And I don't know, anybody who followed this case definitely is aware of who she is. But nonetheless, we're going to do a refresher on some things here. And the first one is, are you guys ready to begin?
Yeah.
I'm ready to jump right in. I've been waiting to tell you guys this stuff. Okay. All right. So here we go. This is Tammy Lee's why. CBI why, meaning why did you join the CBI? So let's hear from her. Can you guys hear that okay?
Nope.
You cannot hear that okay. All right. Hold on. Now, here I think I've got everything together and now we've got this, but I don't understand.
Yeah, because it worked the other night.
Yeah, it did. I'm sharing from Slack though, and I don't know if that makes a difference. Can you guys hear it?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Unbelievable.
Chat's saying nope too, and it was playing earlier.
They can't hear it in there?
No.
Okay, let's try it a different way. I'm sorry, guys. We'll get it.
It's not a show without a blooper.
How about this?
Nope.
You can't hear that either.
Nope.
Okay, how about... How about now?
No.
Mm-mm.
Still
And
can't
chat,
hear her?
chat
No.
can't hear it either.
Oh my God. Okay. That is unbelievable.
We need
My-
that as a soundbite. Oh my God.
Well, I can't believe it. I can't believe you don't hear it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
playing in the original till we restarted this one.
Okay. Yeah, it's not good. I'm gonna have to go get my laptop and then send it over. But here, I can play it here. And you guys can watch this in the meantime. I'm gonna have to send all these files over. You know, how do other people share their screen with ease and have audio?
Russians.
Yeah, it is
I
the
got-
Russians.
Now you can see that, correct?
Yep.
And you can hear it, correct?
My name is Tammy Lee.
Yes.
I currently
Yep.
work in the Denver Major Crimes Unit. My why CBI basically goes back to CBI always being a dream for me to work at. I work for a very small agency in northern Colorado, and we use CBI all the time to help us with investigations, to even
all the
just
way up.
answering a question about a piece of evidence. I always use the CBI. I felt like they were kind of my savior, I guess, when I didn't have the resources or the expertise to handle something. So I guess looking back, I always wanted to give back to that. And now I really appreciate the fact that I can be the calm for other people's storms. I like that they can call us and me specifically and say, I need help with this. And I love that we can show up and give them that assistance. So I just feel like it's a perfect fit for me, and it allows me to give back to all the people that helped me along the way. And it's just a dream come true, honestly.
Did it get louder for you guys?
No.
It was really super low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was turned up all the way. I don't know why, but anyways, her why, was that she worked for a little agency in the in northern Colorado, and she always looked up to the CBI and looked at them as like her savior. So that was done in, somebody asked the year. This was posted 2021, January 9th. Or my bad, that's when it was put on YouTube. So I don't know when this was. This was well before Watt's case. That's what I thought.
Totally different.
Oh, now on the thumbnail. Did you guys even know that was Tammy Lee
No.
on the thumbnail?
No.
I mean, like, what did she do?
And her, I want to help everyone.
I don't know what she's doing. But all right, let's go to the next clip that I have, and hopefully we can get this to work. See, again, this is something I downloaded, so I'm going to have to pull it up this way. And this is going to be a replay of clips of the Oxygen show that Tammy Lee was on. Do you guys remember them being on Oxygen a while back? Well, here's just some clips of that, okay? And we're gonna talk through these, and then we'll get on to the meat and potatoes of the current day. But I want to get through some recapping first. So here we go. Let's make this bigger. And they start out at the point where Ronnie Watts comes in, and Chris has explained to Ronnie that he choked Shanann because she hurt the kids, right? That was the original confession.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look. He asked that. How old is this picture? And she's like, today. It was the drone footage from that day.
They already knew. They were already out there.
Yeah.
I'm just curious why the first thing he asked was, how old is this picture?
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was an odd, unless he was just like trying to, stall a little bit. I don't know. Verge of like crying right there.
Yes.
It's
And
like it.
Okay,
And
you
I-
guys talk about this for a second. I'm going to go grab my laptop so I can get the other files. But please, let's discuss. Go ahead, Mal.
I just feel like I've seen a lot of investigations with really, really bad things. And I just think that she took this way too personal for herself.
Oh, absolutely. She was posting on Facebook about it, and
And I mean,
oh,
praise how she's a strong Italian woman and she could relate so well to Shanann.
yeah.
I think she just did not act professional. I think she acted with rage, impulse, and sadness.
She reacted
In my
with
opinion.
emotion instead of, facts and
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. And I think that she also said that she related with the victim in the case.
Yep. Straight up.
I'm
said
not sure that's something she should be
Mm.
saying.
No.
I mean,
that could, like, if this had gone to trial, that could have been grounds for anything, mistrial or I don't know.
uh-oh, you muted, Heather.
I accidentally muted myself.
I was like, wait.
Oh.
No message.
And then that
Hang on,
turned
I'm
on
just
and
sending
started
these.
talking. Mal, come get your Amazon.
So what else? What else? Let me see what Chad is saying.
I just think it's odd how, like, when I read about her, like, her just saying, like, that she's, from an Italian family and, like, that she pictured herself as Shanann and that she just took it so hard. And that after seeing them like that, she said she cried more than he cried. Well, I mean, everybody's different, but I just think she took it way, way, way too personal. And then what professional goes to Facebook?
Yeah. In an
Oh,
active
yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, very
In the middle.
unprofessional. Mm-hmm.
With the whole picture thing, he may have asked when the picture was taken because he saw the vehicles out there. So maybe he was trying to figure out, like, oh, crap, they already know they're out there right now. I might as well just tell them the truth.
Well, before that, they did say that they did not need something like they had already. Oh, they didn't need to ask him about Nikki on the polygraph because they told him they already knew about her. So that was one way they told him, like, we already talked to Nikki. And then right before, like, he confessed to Ronnie, they were like, we have all the texts between you and Nikki. We're going to listen to all that raw footage. I'm just showing what Oxygen showed.
Right. They
Yep.
always cut out they only put in what they want to put in.
Yeah, sure. Right. That's what I'm saying. And I think that it's important to watch. Just, we're going to use this one area, just the confession part. I'm not going to go over, I'd love to go over the whole interrogation. I mean, I started listening to it just to clip it. And I'm like, okay, I need to listen to this all over again.
Got sucked right back in.
Got sucked right back in. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's keep going. Shot it, Nate.
Right.
All right. Now, you guys are telling me that you guys had no audio on that video I played. So I'm going to try it this way. Me and my trying things. We'll see how it works out. Bella Blonde says, Ellie was pretty quick about Survey 319. Wonder who really outed CW. And we're going to get to this in another live because apparently the Lexus left the house on Tuesday, the 14th. And it was followed by law enforcement. And it turned around and went back to Saratoga Trail. So I'm not sure. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what was in the Lexus on that Tuesday when it took the swing around and went back to the house. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that or not.
Can we go back to that night? Yeah.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yay. And there's not supposed to be any video at this point. It is just a black screen because this is just audio. And the reason I did that is for one of two reasons. I noticed that when you listen to it, you hear more than when you're watching it, you hear it. So I kind of like tweaked the audio, made it a little more clear. So we're going to walk through this, and I want you guys to tell me what you're thinking when we get to these points.
Can we go back to that night?
Yeah.
You know that we have texts, and we know that
Yeah.
there's an Alexa in your house,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that those are trained to record distress.
Okay.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew where Nikki was until tonight, right now, so.
Okay. Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. Like, we woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and Shanann talk. About the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, all right, well, you know.
Okay, so you notice that Coder says, you know, we have all the texts between you and Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is that supposed to scare Chris?
I don't know. And like saying that they have the recording from the Amazon thing.
Yeah, from the Alexa.
I didn't want to say her name.
Oh, sorry. I just had to scream it.
I know you're going to trigger everyone's now.
But you know what I thought was weird was when he said, I didn't even know where Nikki was till right now.
I missed that.
Yeah, go back. Because I closed my eyes and just listened. Because you're right. When you watch it in video, you're watching body language. You're watching people talking to each other. But I heard him say, I have the messages. And then he goes, I didn't even know where Nikki was till now. Rewind.
Weird. Okay.
I never caught that before. Till you just told me to
See,
really listen. I closed
listen
my
to
eyes.
things, man, and you're not watching because we're always watching and trying to figure out what they're saying. And like you said, the body language. Okay, so let's go back a little bit.
Got dressed, got ready.
Was it before that? It was when he said they have the texts?
Yeah.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew where Nikki was until tonight, right now, so.
See?
Tell us
Yeah,
about
that's
that night.
weird.
I didn't understand what he said. Good pickup.
I didn't even know where Nikki was till right now.
And Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew where Nikki was until tonight, right now, so.
Okay. Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I wonder what that means.
Or did he say, I didn't know you knew who Nikki was until right now?
Oh, I think that might be what he said.
I don't know. I said I don't know.
I didn't think you knew who Nikki was until now. Let's see. Let's listen again.
Yeah.
And Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew where Nikki was until tonight, right now, so.
Okay.
You knew who?
Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. Like, we woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and Shanann talk. About the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, all right, well, you know, is there somebody else?
Sure.
I didn't say it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she brought up, like, you know, like, well, was there a $68 charge on dinner the other night?
Okay.
Was there two of you?
And that was with two of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nikki.
Okay. So it sounds like at that time there was maybe you weren't quite ready to just say, this had everything.
I couldn't say it.
Okay.
Say something. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so he's saying he says I didn't think you knew who she was, but he said we got messages of hers and Shanann's and your Alexa, and so he's asking him, did you guys talk about her? And he said, well, she just brought up like we were having an affair. But if he knew that there's incriminating texts on Nikki's phone and Shanann's phone, why would he still be playing like we didn't talk about her? I didn't say I was having an affair with Nikki. She just said she thought she knew, but he said he didn't bring that up to her. Like he didn't say that he was having an affair with her. But if they're saying we have messages from both of them, wouldn't that have put fear in him? And him said, "Oh yes, you're right. We were, and I did tell Shanann that I was having an affair with her. If you have it on devices, then you know that. Why would he still not say that?
Because I don't think it was ever said in a device that we know of.
I believe so too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because he knows it was.
But he didn't know that.
He didn't know what was all in Shanann's phone. No.
Right.
But he's talking about the separation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this was already talked about. This was, and that's what people don't understand is that when they were in North Carolina, they were already talked about separating. It wasn't something that happened when they got back.
It wasn't just out of the blue.
No, and I believe that was a trial separation is what I think that was. 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yep.
Not sure what that means. Baby video game controller sits in a diaper under the word noob.
It's the sticker. It's describing what the sticker is.
It's describing the sticker. I'm like, what? Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Sarah. Oh my gosh. I didn't know it would spell out the sticker. I'm sorry.
But do you know what I'm saying though? Like he would have been
do.
Like, oh, if you have it all, then yeah, I better just say, yeah, I did bring up Nikki. But he still says, I didn't bring up Nikki. She did, but he still said he didn't.
Right. He's still saying he never told her. He couldn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
Olive juice. I know, I'm a reverter.
I'm already trying hard enough. I couldn't say that.
Okay.
I couldn't say that.
I just told her, like, the separation has to go. I want separation.
Okay.
All right, next clip. Hold on tight.
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't load anything into my truck besides my tools.
Okay, so what I wanted to point out here was that how Graham Coder says, I know you have nothing on your hands.
Yep, I was waiting for you to pause.
Why did he say it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thought
he didn't do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and if you recall, the defense team in the very beginning asked for DNA swabs of the girls' necks, and it was denied. The judge said, I am not going to tell the medical examiner how to do their job.
Yep.
Your request is denied. So they wanted DNA in the very beginning from the girls' necks. And then you hear Coder say, I know you've got nothing on your hands. What?
Yeah.
And they never even let the defense go through the house like in normal cases.
Well, the defense, I think very early on brought this plea deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they investigated much.
No.
If at all.
Yeah. Well,
they never interviewed the Watts family.
That one lady, though, did go to the house and she was sitting on the couch that was for the defense. And she said,
they said they were getting forensic evidence, but there was no forensic evidence.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing.
Yep.
There was nothing. But they never interviewed Chris's family. I find that to be very, very odd.
They interview everybody else under the sun.
Everybody, every suspect's family, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never interviewed his family and asked what the relationship was like from their perspective.
This
I
was
mean,
very
they just spent time together. Thank you, Sarah. Video game controller jumps up and down excitedly.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, what would be the harm in getting DNA swabs of the girls' necks?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit their narrative.
Mm-hmm. Well, they knew they had very little, if any, evidence at all. They
Mhm.
relied completely on his confession.
I mean, I don't know
Yes.
how much they would have gotten either with the slippage and stuff of them being in the oil, or like, you know what, it wouldn't have been contaminated.
But to just straight up deny it,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least let them try, right? And then say, we were unable to get those samples. But to shut them down like that was really one of the only requests of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
The defense didn't do shit for Chris.
Nope.
Nothing. I mean, they didn't even tell him the honest to God truth that the death penalty was not a thing. Oh, we're trying to save your life. No. The death penalty was completely abolished a few months later. So that was never even going to be on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there, them throwing him a plea deal saying that, we're saving your life when that's a blatant lie shows me right there, this man never had anyone pulling a decent defense for him. I mean, we knew that, but it's maddening to listen to.
I just wish we could see what all they really have. Like Nate's cams. I mean, if NK's been there, why was that never shown?
Because from what I hear, there's a spot in the driveway where no cameras pick up anyone. And we'll get to that in an upcoming episode because there's a lot to talk about with that. But let's get back to this audio.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, I mean, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't load anything into my truck besides my tools, my container, my book bag, my water jug, my lunchbox.
Okay.
And that's the only time Chris's voice really gets raised and he's adamant. Any other time he's talking real low, he's looking down. But when he's talking about, I only loaded this, and this in my truck, he's thinking, because I think that he put Shanann in the bed of the truck. So he doesn't think that anybody could see it because he put the ass end of his truck just so in the garage so that the back wheels were just there and you couldn't see. So he's adamant because he's thinking there's no way they saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way that he took Shanann and brought her around that side of the truck and loaded her without any struggle or anything like that, because she would have been in rigor. She would have been difficult to maneuver in the truck to lay across the floorboards. Plus he had bins
And car
and
seats.
things, bins. And I don't think there was car seats back there.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were in the car.
But he had bins. He had Rubbermaid bins stacked up with work stuff in them.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't have been hey, I'm lifting this, body and I'm just sliding it in effortlessly. We would have seen something. And I think he backed it up and had the he slid her in the bed is what happened.
What happened?
We're going to get to video soon.
No, before you drove out of the driveway. What happened with your wife and your kids?
I didn't do anything with them. They were still in the house.
Where are they? Where did they go?
I don't know, sir. I really don't know.
Your wife's not the type of person to vanish.
I know she's not.
She had 10 things on her schedule that meant she was going to be there the next day, that day, the day after that, with friends, with a doctor. Okay? She didn't leave because she wanted to.
Right.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
So she still doesn't know. Was it an accident? Next clip.
Do you have to have any of them with you?
No?
Okay, this is regarding the Anadarko employees. Okay, now they've gotten the confession, and now he's asking about coworkers going out there to retrieve their bodies.
Yeah, he sounds upset.
Thank you, Sarah. She says, "Oh boy, these damn stupid stickers." I love you, Jay. Is that better? Yes, Sarah. Thank you.
Okay.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
He says there was no accident.
Do you have to have any of them with you?
No?
No. We prefer you.
Can you and me and Tammy and Ronnie get in the car and just drive out there?
Just general direction.
You just point it?
Take it from there.
Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies.
I did not catch that before, that they wanted Ronnie and him to hop in the car right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Why didn't they, I wonder?
Chris said no, didn't he?
He didn't want to go out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura W. says, my last name is Waddles. I used to have Laura Watt as my screen name. This case,
Oh,
case
no.
made me change it. Oh, Lord.
And you're still their
You
dad.
don't want them out there.
I didn't want them out there.
Ooh.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you. You'll take us.
That damn clock.
You give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged. Do that?
Ronnie, do you mind staying in here with him? Okay.
What the fuck is this?
Now, this is him and Ronnie alone.
This is just fucking horrible. The problem is I don't even know if they believe me or not.
You never do nothing to hurt your children. Never. Text my daughter, have her go to my house, before my wife found out. This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. I can't imagine.
Yeah, you hear that shit? Right here.
Mm.
Here's lie number 1 or whatever, 100.
Yeah.
Ronnie wants a chance to talk to his daughter, who has children and a spouse and his wife. And he says, this isn't going to be on the news anytime soon, is it? And she says, oh, no. But you know what happened?
News.
After this, a source from law enforcement told Denver 9 that Chris Watts confessed to killing his entire family. Is that what just happened here?
Nope.
Fuck no, that's not what happened. So what source and why went to the Denver 9 News and said, hey, he just confessed to everything?
Because they were invested too emotionally into this case and wanted to cream him in the news right off the bat.
Can you
Yep.
imagine that being your son or your brother? And you're like, what? I mean, Dad was sitting right there. He heard what the confession was. So he's going to tell his wife and daughter what he just heard, the confession, and then they're going to hear the news, and it's going to be, no, he killed them all. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
So what do you think Ronnie Watts was thinking when he saw the news? And he was like, wait a minute. That's not what Chris said. He had to have thought that.
I will never understand why Ronnie didn't say enough. He wants a lawyer. I wish they would've
Shock.
said.
Complete and utter shock.
Yeah.
He had no idea why he was even there. He thought they were missing, right? So let's just talk a little bit about that. So he thought they were missing, and that, you know, there was this separation that was happening, that was in the works, and maybe they had a disagreement or something, and she took off, wanted him to worry, or, you know, like a fight, and she took off. That's literally what they thought, was that they're somewhere. You know what I mean? They had a fight. She's just taken off with the girls. She'll be back, but she wasn't back. So he flies out there. And then he sits down, and this is the news he gets. And he's thinking, I've got to call my daughter and my wife. And I've got to tell them that their nieces and their granddaughters are dead. I can't even imagine. I mean, this guy literally walked into this situation, had no idea what was going on.
I think
Blindsided.
it was all Tammy that leaked it. I think it was all her. The way she took it emotionally, I think it was all her.
I have to agree.
Well, I think so too. And I think that saying he confessed to all three is, I mean, how do they, I just don't understand when we could clearly watch in the discovery what the confession entailed. And then is it a surprise that they went back and visited him again out in Wisconsin and got this quote unquote second interview that they told him it's not for anybody but Shanann's family.
Yep.
And then afterwards called him. Tammy Lee called him at the prison. He gets called down to this phone call, and she says, just want to let you know, everyone's going to hear that.
Yep. Like,
and he
how
said,
was she not reprimanded
and he
for
said,
all of these lies?
okay, thank you, and hung up. I mean, what are you going to do at that point?
And I think they only went back to Wisconsin because I think there was so many loopholes and people were starting to pick them out. And I think if they didn't go in and seal that,
and
say that,
I 100% agree with you.
He would have gotten a
They
new
had
trial.
to have that confession that they were claiming on the record.
Yep.
Because that wasn't what was on the record. What was on the record did not fucking match what he's saying happened. So they had to go seal that up. You're right. They definitely had to. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's still more that can happen with this. I don't know. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's keep going. I got some good shit.
I don't really have much say in that, but I can't see that. Do you want me to take you out to the lobby and you can go to the bathroom and then text your wife and stuff, talk to them?
Oh yeah, could you go text your wife and tell them that, you know, her grandchildren are deceased?
Because I'm about to blast it on the news.
Unreal. I have never seen someone so cold in my entire life.
Yeah.
But then she puts on these tears on the Oxygen show. It's like, where is your empathy as a professional when you're dealing with this dead children? Those dead children meant something to everyone.
Yeah.
Just watch the press people around.
Yeah, I'll see if anyone out there while you're over
You
there.
want your water, you want to take your water with you?
Yeah.
We're going to try to do our best to make sure that we, we don't stand to gain anything by broadcasting any of this. That's not what law enforcement is ever really about. So we're going to try our best to handle that as discreetly as possible. But
You hear that shit?
Yep.
We're going to handle this as discreetly as possible. That's not what law enforcement's all about. Bullshit.
That's
They
what
went
Tammy's
right
all about.
to Denver 9.
But they sure kept NK very secretive.
These two are thick as thieves. I don't believe it's just her. They're thick as thieves, and you'll see why in a little bit.
But they're pretty good at what they do too.
So I'm not from around here neither, are you?
I've only been here a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a lawyer or something for not a public defender, but somebody else.
Did you hear him? I want to find a lawyer, not a public defender, but someone else. Have you ever heard that before? Mr.
No.
Watts telling Coder, I want to find a lawyer, not a public defender, but someone else. What happened to that? Let's listen.
I've only been here a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a lawyer or something for not a public defender, but somebody else.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Get your phone. You got it, okay. Let's go.
They aren't interested in entertaining that conversation,
Right
are they?
where they should have stopped talking to him when he said, I want to get a lawyer.
Yep.
They should have stopped talking to him. As soon as the word lawyer is brought up, they're to be walking out the room.
Well, she kind of did, because she's like, oh, got your phone? They already got what they wanted.
Well,
Yeah.
Coder's like, we'll talk about that later. No, we're going to deal with this now.
Yeah, because Mr. Watts, oh shit, he talked about a lawyer at the end.
Yep. And that's why they went to the news.
In the leak. Yep, because once it's leaked, once people see that, they won't unsee it.
Just
They
like,
won't unsee it. Just like when they put Tim McVeigh on the cover of Time magazine and put the face of terror before he was even on trial, right? It's not fair to do
and
that.
Scott Peterson.
Right.
I mean, it was all media.
Right. I mean, Scott Peterson's alibi was leaked before the trial.
Yep. Which
But Lori,
I've
they
never
didn't
heard in
get the
my life.
confession. Lori, they didn't, though. They only got that he confessed to killing Shanann. But they lied in the news. They lied in the news and said he confessed to all.
Yep.
So if you're up for it, we'll talk a little bit more. I think we have a picture of, is it Survey 319? I think we have a picture. Kind of walk you through that. I'm sure you have a ton of questions for us about, how your night, month, and weekend's going to look. So Tammy, I was just telling him.
Okay, so now we're going to get to the next part, and this is...
I wanted to show him that picture.
Okay, so that was before he showed the location.
Yep.
That Ronnie said, I want to get a lawyer.
Yep. Before he,
Yep.
That was before he drew the diagram of where they are.
Yep.
Holy. We can talk about that later. Yeah, let's seal this up and then we'll talk about that.
They should have
All
never went up any
Nope.
further.
Nope. That should have ended right then and there. All right. So now she's coming in with this picture. Now let's watch.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about how the rest of the night's going to go.
That looks familiar to you? What is that?
It's the BRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts? Just Shanann and the girls?
How old is this picture?
Today.
How's today?
Hear that? How old is this picture? Oh, this is today.
I just wish we wouldn't have said another word.
Can you mark it for me? Thanks. I think it's the paper, it's just kind of, the S for Shanann. Okay, and where are the girls at?
Okay, watch her fingers.
She
Now,
pointed-
why is she pointing for him?
'cause
Yeah.
they said they already were out there. So she knew that where the kids were. She just wanted him to clarify.
I don't think they ever imagined those kids were in oil tanks.
Well, they said they were already out there, and I can't remember.
Well, they
where-
did. They found the sheet and they found the Shanann, but I don't think they knew for sure. I don't think they imagined in a million years that he would have put them in those tanks. And another episode we're going to do too is we're going to talk about those tanks and we're going to talk about those hatches. And I'm going to share with you some things that Ronnie Watts and I talked about with the hatches. And I'm going to show you. I mean, it's crazy because an 8-inch hatch is as big as a paper plate. How? We'll get to that. Today's about Tammy Lee.
The S for Shanann. Okay, and where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Watch your
Which
hands.
one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
Both things.
Mixture of oil and water.
What?
She pointed to both tanks. She pointed to one, and then
I
she
know.
pointed
Did you see her go back and forth? Like,
Yeah,
here,
and
mark
then he
these.
said they're in the tanks. The cop did.
He said, "Are they in the tanks?" And
Yeah,
and
She had already
and then he
pointed
goes, "Can someone?" Right. And then he goes, "Can someone who doesn't know what they're doing open those?"
Mhm.
Why would he ask that? Who wouldn't know what they're doing? But I mean, Chris knows what he's doing. Oh, weird.
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Chanel was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably flew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here with that.
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
It's a shovel in the back of my truck. It's always have.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann dressed?
Shirt and underwear.
Is that what she got into bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt was or her underwear?
All right, this is important here because for some odd reason, they ask, "Do you remember what color shirt and her underwear were?" And I'm not really sure why, but it's always bothered me because the shirt we see when they pull out the evidence is like purplish, right? Isn't it like purple,
Purple, yeah.
like purple and white or something like that?
Mhm.
Okay, now listen what Chris says that she was wearing.
I'm sure it was either black or gray. Or it was probably blue.
He was right about the underwear, but he said the shirt was black or gray. Far cry from purple or whitish or the one we saw pulled out of that bag.
Mhm.
And I've always heard that there was a black or gray shirt that was never found. in her room. That was in her room. And that pile of clothes you see in the discovery, I think it's like on a chair or in a suitcase that's opened up. There was something. No, that shirt was not black.
No, it was definitely purple. Purple and white, or like
And it
purple
had
and
like a
pink.
foil heart on it or something. Like a
Yeah.
foily heart. Maybe he didn't notice. That's true. He may not have even noticed. Maybe she typically wore gray or black, and maybe he really didn't even notice what her shirt was.
Yeah.
That's very possible, Leotech. And yes, I do think they have the clock that ticks on purpose. Because they leave people alone in there and it drives them out of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, Bella, why they asked about her shirt and underwear. How did they already know what she was wearing? It could have been PJs. They hadn't dug her up yet.
I think they did. I think they were already out there and had it all her undone when they seen the earth. I think they already and were just having him clarify what she was wearing because I think they already dug her up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They looked for the
They
earth
found the sheet and then they found that little disturbed spot.
And they would have had a dog out there or somebody. You could see marks of that spot. I'm sure they went right to it.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it is kind of silly to think that they hadn't already investigated out there.
Mm-hmm. They were just making him clarify.
But she was wearing only underwear and a t-shirt. So that tells me that, I mean, unless Shanann was apt to run around the house in a thong, that she wasn't running around. Like she had taken her pants off to get into bed, like he said.
Yep.
Because if she was running around the house, I feel like she would have had shorts or leggings or something on. Maybe not leggings, but you know what I'm saying? Like sleep shorts.
Pajama pants, something.
Yeah, I just can't see her like running around in her thong. But so that tells me that she, took her pants off and got in bed. But when you think back on that video of her walking in, the ring video, is she wearing the same t-shirt that we see in the evidence?
I think she's wearing a black one. No. I don't know. Now I gotta look it up.
Oh, it might be black, you guys.
I think it is.
Yeah, they didn't find the shirt she was wearing that she came in on the ring camera.
That was the different shirt.
Yeah, so she was wearing, it looks blue. The shirt.
Is it dark though?
Kind of. More like a bluish gray. And it says love in big letters across the chest.
Okay, so he was correct.
Not the same.
So that's what she came home in, black or gray. So she must have put that shirt on to sleep in. That's what that tells me. You come home from the airport, she didn't like the germs. You're going to strip that nasty shirt off and put something clean on to sleep in. Because you're too tired to take a freaking shower because you're already delayed. She got home super late. So I could see her just taking the shirt off, putting a clean shirt on, getting into bed. Okay. Let's keep going.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put him in the truck?
This is where he gets interesting here.
I'm not sure.
So the question was, how much time was it between that happening and you putting Shanann in the truck? And we had this long pause. And then he's like, I'm not sure.
We're talking minutes, hours, something else?
Leading.
When I left the house.
No, like from when you got her into bed to when you put him in the truck. How long a time was that?
So like from when I put Shanann in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Because you talked about covering her up or something.
Yeah. And she,
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't going to be in there as well?
not because it was right here, but there.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just going to write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything just under? Okay. Do you realize that? They were
There she goes.
blue.
We got him. See her? Ugh.
Okay. And the girls,
Okay. So that concludes our rewind of that. And I just thought there were some interesting key points to mention because we're going to have more lives about this and several of those little key points that we talked about. Just all of this, the surveillance, all that stuff. And then, so now I have one more treat for you guys. And this audio was sent to me by an anonymous source. And this is a phone, or two phone calls rather, between Tammy Lee and David Carter. If you guys don't know who David Carter is, David Carter was an inmate. He was housed with Chris at Dodge 2 times on 2 separate occasions. Now, when he got out this last time, he decided to hit up Tammy Lee because he had some information for her.
Do you know when this was?
When the phone calls were recorded?
Yeah.
He says in here when he got out, what year he was in there. He was
Oh, I
in there with
missed
them in
that.
18, and then he was in there with, I think it was 2021.
Because I was talking to Tato, and I'm like, I don't think I've heard this before. And no, I haven't.
No. I hadn't either. I was like, whoa, what's this? So let me pull this up. It's just audio. Oh, it's not letting me open it because it's audio. What the heck? Hold on, guys. It is juicy. It is juicy.
It is.
Oh, man. All right. Let me see if I can. Because it's M4A, it won't play. What does that mean? Heather, what does that mean? What's M4A as a file?
It's just the way it was saved, the format of it.
So maybe I can
Are
just
you on your-
convert it?
Are you on your Mac?
Yeah. Can I
Yeah.
just convert it really quick?
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right. So yeah, this is some good stuff. So just give me 2 seconds to convert this over. But so he called Tammy based on conversations that he had with Chris. And her reaction is pretty damn interesting. So here, let me save it.
I just
And then
wish
you guys will be able
in
to
a
see.
trial, and then this case would just be done.
I know.
Yeah, I know. But see, if it would have went to trial, they didn't have enough evidence to convict.
Right.
So they bamboozled. They bamboozled it.
They really
in my
did.
opinion. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to put it.
I mean, they lied to him from the beginning.
And the juicy stuff is coming, yo. It's coming after these calls.
Tonight?
Tonight?
Say, is it
Yes.
tonight?
Yes,
Great.
absolutely. In the meantime, while this is converting, let's go to the next little thing I was going to share before we move forward. And let me show you my screen. This is from People Magazine. And this says, this is from September 17th of 2018. So this is only, what, a month after his arrest. And it says here, Chris Watts, who is accused of killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters, is despondent in jail. Depression is setting in for Chris Watts as he's jailed in deaths of wife, daughters, source says. And everybody back then was like, oh, who cares? But you have to take all of this in and listen to this, okay? So he's been sitting in the Weld County Jail for more than a month. A source who has spoken to Watts tells people the severity of his predicament has sunk in. He's not doing well at all, the source tells people. The gravity of the situation has hit him like a ton of bricks. Depression is setting in and he's despondent. So he was on suicide watch from the minute that he was put in the Weld County Jail. And this is a little bit of what happens there. Guards must check on Watts every 10 to 15 minutes to ensure his well-being and must make visual contact with him. Additionally, Watts is not allowed the same privileges as other people at the jail, including no access to weights, reading material, and television.
And mail. He couldn't even get his mail.
With nothing else to do, the source says, Watts spends most of his time in bed. He sleeps all day and isn't really talking to anyone, including his family.
Wait a minute. Didn't they restrict his family and
Yes.
not let them talk?
Yes, they even went out there and they were not allowed to speak with him about the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's been set
His
in a
lawyer told
conversation. Sorry, Jake, go ahead.
his lawyer told his mother not to speak about the case or they would end the visit. And all she said to him was, if you didn't don't confess to something you didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her final warning. Do it again and it's shut down.
And then he
So
said,
let me finish though. This is Watts does occasionally speak with the guards who are assigned to his cell block. Watts is physically searched several times a day, and each day there is a complete cell inspection to ensure he is not hiding any contraband with which he could harm himself. 1 hour a day he is allowed to leave his cell. He is taken to a small room where he is allowed to shower and make phone calls to his family or to counsel. The room, known as the Hour Out Room, is not occupied by any other prisoners during the time he is there. He is also not allowed any commissary privileges. So you're in you're in this zone and they come to you and say, dude, we're trying to save your life. What mind frame are you going to be in?
yeah.
In solitary like that.
Mm-hmm. With your own thoughts, just 24/7.
And he wasn't supposed to get any books, but there was a guard who came by and gave him a book about murder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying, oh, whoa, poor Chris, but I'm just stating the facts.
And didn't he have other inmates screaming at him, telling him to kill himself?
Yes. Yes. He told his father that when they walked him out of his cell and in front of the other prisoners at Weld, he said, I could see the hate in their eyes. Yeah. I mean,
that alone is going to mess with your head.
Just being in solitary like that, I mean, that just drives a person mad. It does. There's a reason they do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when his parents came to talk, once they heard there was a plea reached, And they wanted to talk to him, like, wait a minute. Because like I said before, Ronnie's at home going, wait a minute. Why are they reporting that he said he killed all 3? He didn't say that. So Ronnie's got this, I was there thing. Like, I'm sitting there. I heard what he said, but everybody's being told this other story. You have to feel like the world is stacked against you. How do you undo something like that?
I mean, you can't really.
Yeah, and his mom said she wrote him a letter like to say not to say anything and do anything, but he didn't get it till after.
Yep. He didn't get it until after the sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, in Mike Sanner, he says prisoners do not like people who hurt kids. They will mess them up. But he didn't say he hurt his kids. They said he hurt his kids. And then
They're the
turn
ones that put him in danger.
Yeah, turn this narrative into something they didn't want to prove. For what reason? Why didn't they want to prove it? I would think as a prosecutor, this would be a case that you'd want to go to trial and win. High profile? Gets your name on the map? Are you kidding me?
It was too sloppy to do that. They were putting evidence in plastic garbage bags on top of other items.
Yeah, they sure were, weren't they?
Yep.
With no gloves.
Leo Tech says, then why did he come back months later to give a play-by-play about hurting them? Well, he didn't come back. He was in Wisconsin serving his sentence for the plea deal that he took. And they came to him out of the clear blue. And he didn't know that he had the right not to talk to them. I mean, when you're in prison, you feel like probably the prison owns you and they call you down because you have visitors to see you and you walk in the room and it's these investigators.
And they acted like his best friends.
Oh, I know. Long time no see.
Bought
But they
him
told him.
and
Yeah. They told him that this was for the Ruseks only. And that was what he believed. But I think Maligators hit it on the nail on the head when she said that they had to seal it up. They had to have that narrative match in the case file. Or when appeals come, because this guy's going to have appeal upon appeal upon appeal, right? Or can he not appeal since he pled out?
I don't think he can.
No, that's why you can do the 35C.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, at any rate, if the case file didn't match, I think you might have a problem in later years when, your Tammy and your Coder and all these guys are long gone, retired, and you've got a whole new crew in there and they look at this case and they go, wait a minute. He didn't say he killed those girls.
This doesn't add up.
Yeah, because he didn't have to plea, but they could have come back and said, like, the Brady violations, like, you know what I'm saying? They could have retried for a mistrial or, like, what are those guys called that come
The Innocence Project?
Yes. They could have looked through that and seen, well, they messed up here, 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 and here, and he can get a new trial. And I think that's why they did what they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. It's all just so shady.
Yep.
It's all so shady.
They've been shady from the beginning. These two, at least.
So let's go on to the next.
And, like, no matter the situation, if, say, he did, he didn't, everyone has their own opinion. It was sloppy. It was sloppy from the beginning. No matter what the outcome, it was sloppy the way they investigated this case from start to finish.
Well, in Tammy's own words, she was like, oh, we didn't even get to investigate. She said that in the oxygen thing.
I
In the
forgot about
oxygen
that.
show.
Yep.
She said, we didn't even get to investigate. We didn't even get to talk to all the people that we wanted to talk to. That's what your excuse for not even interviewing the suspect's parents that he just spent time with
Right.
right
Because
before this happened.
Why else would they go to Wisconsin? The case was closed. He did a plea. Why go there?
Yeah, they had no reason to other than to cover their ass.
They had to tidy up. So they went on and put on their charm and lured his behind right in and fed him what they wanted him to say.
Yeah, and they told him that it was for her family.
Yep, and put a nice little bow on it.
Put a nice little bow on it. All right. So here's my... Hold on. I converted that audio. Now I just have to find it.
Oh, great.
Well, I don't typically save things on this computer. I found it. Okay. Now you'll be able to hear the audio. Oops. Okay, so this is David Carter's call with Tammy Lee. So he first called, I don't know if he called the main number, but that was included. I just didn't include it in this. And he left a message and said he wanted to talk to someone about the Chris Watts case. He didn't specifically ask for her. So I just wanted to preface that because there's a recording of him leaving a message with whoever handles Chris Watts.
Yep.
And then they said, okay, we'll get you to that person. And then she called. Now, does she even look the same? This is her now.
No.
No.
Not even
Totally
close.
That is her now. Okay, so let's take a listen. No, I don't think that was him, Leotech. I think that was Dylan Tallman.
Yeah, it was Dylan's fiance.
Yeah, this guy was in with Chris 2 different times in Dodge.
Hello?
Hey, is this Daniel?
No, it's actually David.
It's David, okay.
She couldn't even get his name right. Daniel? Like the dude left a message and said it was David.
Sorry, I thought your last name was Daniel.
You said Tammy Lee was your name?
Yes.
Okay. You said you was calling me about a voicemail left on H7's voicemail?
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm actually the one that handled that case, so I was just going to call back. I had another lady call me, probably last week, that said that you had information as well, that you had been an inmate with Chris Watts in prison.
Yeah, I was at Dodge with him on 2 different occasions.
Okay.
I was in Dodge whenever he first got there in 2018. And then I was there last September all the way to February with him. And he told me that Nicole killed his daughters and killed Stan. And he couldn't kill his daughters because they felt that he shouldn't kill his daughters because he wouldn't be able to stomach being able to kill them.
Okay. So he said that Nikki killed the little kids, the little girls, and he killed his wife?
Yeah, and he was protecting her because he didn't want her to go to prison. He was already going down for murders anyway, so he was never getting out.
Mm-hmm. Why did he decide to tell you this?
Because we talked a lot about the church, and I told him that I wouldn't judge him. I just wanted to know what was going on, and that's when he told me that Nicole killed his daughters and killed Stan.
And that he was going to go down for it anyway, so he might as well just take responsibility for all of it?
Yeah, he didn't want Nicole or Nikki to take any of it because he loved her and he wanted to protect her.
Okay, I'm going to pause. Thoughts?
Pure silence. She didn't say nothing after he was just silent.
No.
She doesn't
Do you
sound
believe him?
shocked at all.
Do you believe him? Yeah,
Yeah,
Krugs. Do you
I do.
believe him?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of believe him too, because number one, he'd already served his time. He was
Yep.
already out. So he wasn't trying to like get a deal or get out early or anything like that. He was already done. Secondly, he called her Tammy Lynn. And I don't think that if he really planned this and it was, you know, this big concocted plan, he would definitely know it was Tammy Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he called her Tammy Lynn. And I feel like it was organic. I don't think he did that to kind of smooth. I feel like it's organic. Thanks. And I wanted to share something from what we were talking about just a minute ago about, you know, when Ronnie found out what happened to the girls and how he had to reach out to Cindy and things like that, and how they may have seen on the news a different story than what Chris was saying. And this is straight from Cindy. And she says, I didn't watch TV because I had my grandchildren. I knew something was wrong when Jamie and Robert came to the house. That's her daughter and her husband. So Ronnie had called his daughter and asked her to go over to the house to be with Cindy when the news was given to her, right? Because she loved those grandchildren. I mean, she loved those babies.
Mm-hmm.
So her friend took the kids and then they came over and told me they were all dead. This is from Cindy. I fell to the floor. My legs gave out. So that was what was going on, you know, on their end. And it's just a utter shame
Mm-hmm.
that this went down the way that it went down.
It is.
Bella Blonde says she believes David Carter. He had
Yeah,
nothing to lose.
He didn't.
He didn't. And he wasn't out looking for fame. He didn't run right to the media. He went to her.
And I remember when he was making several calls. He was calling quite often. He wasn't just calling once.
All right, let's continue listening. So we were at that awkward silence, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yep.
Where she says, why did he tell you this?
Mm-hmm.
And he had like a legit answer. Like, we talk about the church. We talk about the Bible. We talk about forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him what was going on. I told him I wouldn't judge him. I mean, I don't know. Could Chris have opened up to this guy? Possibly.
And when did he tell you this? In 2018 or this last time?
This was last time whenever I went there.
So, and you said September to February of what years?
September 2020 to 2021. I just got out in February.
Okay, so there you go, Heather. September of 2020 to February of 2021. He was in with Chris, and that was the time when Chris said this. What, Heather? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I heard it that time. I just missed it before.
So what is that? I mean, does that change things for you? That it was like just as early as 2021?
Not really. I would say if it was like when he was first incarcerated, then yeah, that might change my mind because he did give a lot of different stories to a lot of different people at that time. But now that it's further on, I don't think he quite does that anymore, but I mean, I don't talk to the guy, so.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely didn't hear this all over YouTube. I mean, I never heard it.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it's even on YouTube.
I've heard other calls from him before on YouTube.
I've never heard these calls.
No, not
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm saying like the legitimacy, it makes me believe it more.
Yep.
Look at a lot of people have not. Leo's never heard of it.
Which is messed up. Why wasn't it in the news that this guy was coming forward saying, you know, after all this time, like at this point, Chris thinks he's in there forever. He's not getting out. Everything's done. He can't plea. Why not tell the truth? Why not open up to somebody and get, you know, unload your heart and say, this is what happened. Why not? And I believe they 100% protected NK's rights more than Chris's or his family's rights. They blasted this on the news before his family could even have a minute to process what had happened. It wasn't only the Ruseks that lost these babies, it was the Watts as well. And they didn't give them 1 second. But damn, they covered her up, changed her name, and she'd be gone. Nothing.
Yeah. New identity. I mean, that's really unheard of. Really unheard of. I mean, Amber Fry didn't get a new identity.
No. And her phone pinging that morning, I'm sorry. I can't get past that.
Oh, neither can I. Neither can I. I can't get past that either. Okay, so let's keep listening.
Okay. And you were, like, did you share a room with him, or how did that work?
I was actually on the same unit with him whenever he got there because he was being protected and I was on the psychiatric unit. So they kept all of us on the same unit together.
And what is compelling you to tell us this now?
Because, I didn't want to come forward because I'm afraid for my safety, but I also wanted just for them to live good and Shanann. I didn't want, I think that whoever else is involved needs to be.
Yeah, for sure. Did he give you any details about how it happened?
He said that Nikki smothered the girls and Lee choked Shanann out, and he didn't want the baby. He didn't want Nico, and he was afraid that she was going to take the house and that he would never see the kids. And they wanted to live together, so that's why he did. But I don't really, like, all I know is that he had choked Shanann and she smothered the girls.
Do you know if she helped do anything else as far as their disposal or?
Yeah.
What? 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 Why is she asking him about the disposal?
Yeah.
What? They're still unsure about the disposal.
Yep. I think they're still unsure about a lot.
I mean, there's no way.
I didn't even notice this earlier. What?
Yeah. There's no way in God's creation he had the time that morning to do all of that. There's no way.
Wait, what?
And deadlifting Shanann into the truck by himself?
I can rewind a little bit. Let's see.
He could have said something other than
I believe he said that she helped him get those the babies in the oil tank and that got buried Shanann.
Sorry, I'm just taking some notes.
I'm sure you are.
Do you know anything else about what he said? Do you remember anything else?
I don't remember anything else at this point, probably because I try not to think about it. But yeah, is this the number to call you back on?
It is. Yeah, for sure. This is my cell phone. So, would you consider yourself like kind of his friend in there? Like, was he just like confiding in you, or how did it get brought up?
Yeah, I talked to him a lot. Whenever I first went there, we talked a lot about the Bible because he's real religious now. And I told him that I can't judge him for what he's done or what happened, but I like to know what was going through his head. And then over time, as I was spending time with him, is when he opened up to me.
Okay. What did he say was going through his head?
That everything was just too much, and he didn't want Nico to begin with, and he just wanted his life to start over and not worry about what man was gonna try to do to him.
That's his background, by the way.
So, where are you at now?
Okay, I live in Wisconsin.
Oh, you live in Wisconsin? Okay.
Yeah, in Green Bay.
How far is that from Dodge?
About an hour.
It gets
Only
better.
What county's over.
Okay.
They usually only keep you there for to staff see where you're going, but this last time I didn't have the time, so they just kept me in Dodge.
Okay. And then how long were you in there in 2018? Do you know the dates you were in there?
Yeah, I went there in October 2018, and I got out in January 2019.
So he was in there October of 18 until January. When was Chris taken to Dodge? In January?
I don't think it was that late.
Oh, no, because November was the sentencing. Beginning of
Yeah.
November, he was sentenced. So they probably overlapped in Dodge for a couple months. So Chris was probably there first. Or no, he was there first.
Yeah.
If he went there in October.
And then Chris showed up.
And then Chris showed up. And then that dude got out in January. And then they came to visit him in March of that year, of 19. These calls were way after 2019.
2 years after.
Yes, he got out in February of 21. And yeah. All right, let's keep listening.
And when do you think this would have been in your last stint? September to February. When in there do you think he would have opened up to you? Do you know when?
There's I don't know the exact date, but October.
In October? Okay. Did you talk at all about like having to drug the little girls or like how mother them or when what?
Wow.
Do you hear these questions? She's entertaining this.
She is. Absolutely, 100%.
She does not think he's full of shit. She's trying to get info. Still. Oh my God.
You know when?
There's I don't know the exact date, but October.
In October? Okay. Did you talk at all about like having to drug the little girls or like how you smothered them or when at what point smothered them?
He said that she smothered them with a blanket or a sheet. I want to say that it was at the gravesite, but I'm not sure.
So that she was out there? Did she help them get in the oil tanks and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. What are you guys thinking?
I'm in shock a little bit.
Yeah.
And I believe him.
I do too.
I believe him.
The more I listen to it, and you know, this is only the second time I've listened through it. But yeah. He's not just pulling this out of his ass. You can
And
tell.
we all know. I mean, we've said since day one, we didn't think he could get all of that done in such a quick time, get back home and be like not all sweaty and dirty and look like, I mean, he had to have been like frantically digging and putting her in and putting them up there. And those stairs that's a lot of stairs and lifting them. And he would have been soaked with sweat. And
well, there's, you know, and that's the thing too. And that's going to be a whole nother episode, but talking about the ladders. There's something really perplexing that I was told, and it involves those openings, and it involves the fact that maybe they weren't put in those hatches. So we're going to talk about that because 8-inch hatch, get an 8-inch plate.
But didn't they find tissue or hair on the tops of them?
They said there was hair on one, but an 8-inch plate. Literally, like, we're going to do this on a live. We're going to get a plate. And I'm going to show you. It extends not far past your fingers.
So do you think they did it from the side things and then pumped stuff in there?
I don't think they would have had time to pump anything in.
How did they get in there then?
The side hatches.
But the oil would have come out. They had to drain them first. That to drain them into that
Yeah,
side.
I don't know. I don't know if there's other hatches on those things. I don't know anything about it. All I'm saying is we're going to go over the size of the top where they say they were put through. I don't know where else they could have been put, but I do want to show that I don't think they were put in those top ones. I can't tell you where they were put, but we're going to go over the size of those and how it's really not even, I mean, without being graphic and saying, you know, like broken bones and things like that. But do you remember the Dr. Phil episode that was deleted? Where he talked about the broken bones. And it was deleted. NK did not clock in that day. Remember, that was the day she forgot.
Yep. That was
she pinged. Yeah. Not only that, she pinged there that morning.
Mm-hmm.
She pinged there. She forgot to clock in.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Mm-hmm. And she's calling Jim at 6:30 in the morning from Frederick. Why?
Yep.
All right, let's keep listening.
And don't get Jim involved.
Yeah.
Well, I think she always called Jim after she had talked to Chris. It was like she would talk to Chris and then call Jim.
Yep.
This is a whole nother.
And they were both sick. Her and Jim were both sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were sick. Mm.
So if FBI, Graham Coder and I, we're the ones that worked on the case. If we wanted to come out there and talk to you, would you be willing to like have a actual formal interview with us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Would you be willing to do that? Okay. So I have your number. Let me talk to him, and can I get with you next week, and we can maybe figure out a time to come chat with you?
Yeah, today's actually my birthday, so I'm trying to take it.
Happy birthday!
So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I know. She makes me want to hurl.
Literally.
But she's asking, hey, if I talk to Graham Coder and he's down, will you meet with us in person if we fly to Wisconsin?
See, she believes him. If she
wants
didn't
to
believe
fly
him,
back out there. What the She wants to go back to Wisconsin. Okay, it gets better. I'm sorry. I'm mind blown by this shit.
Yeah, that number you can get a hold of me.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And you have my number. That's the my cell phone number that I gave you. So I'll put you in my cell phone, and so if there's anything else that comes up before I get back with you next week, give me a shout, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, David. I appreciate it.
Have a good week.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, call number 2.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Tammy, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I talked to Graham Coder, the FBI guy.
Yeah.
That was with me. So we're still trying to work on trying to figure stuff out. We're trying to get, any kind of, corroborating evidence that we can find to show that she was possibly involved. As far as like phone data and, all of that kind of stuff. So we're still working on our end with that stuff. Kind of going back through records and things like that. So, have you learned anything since we talked last, or?
Just that he said that she was there and that she killed the girls and he killed Nan and wanted to be with her. And he didn't want Nico was hesitant that she was going to make him do like Shanann.
Say that again, the last part?
That he didn't want whatever Shanann was going to try to do to her.
Okay. You mean as far as like keeping the kids from him and stuff?
Yeah,
or?
keeping the kids from him and everything else. Can you hold on 1 second one more time? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that, Tim.
That's okay. So, and David, I don't know if this is going to be, a thing or not, but would you be willing to take a polygraph to show that you're telling the truth about what Chris told you?
Yeah, I would be willing to do that.
Okay. Well, let me Graham is out of pocket the next few days, so let me get with him. And like I said, we're still going over some records. And as soon as I can figure that out, I talked to the boss in our major crimes unit, and we're going to try and see if there's a possibility we could come out and chat with you and possibly do a polygraph.
Okay.
Just so we can, show that it's legit.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. So if you have any other, if anyone contacts you or if you have any questions, you can text me or give me a shout. But otherwise, I'll probably just give you a shout next week, and after we have more time to go through some records and see what we can find.
Okay.
Okay.
That works.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think that's it.
She loves her polygraphs, doesn't she?
I mean, he straight up said, yeah.
Yeah, didn't even hesitate.
Nope.
Said it twice,
the
actually.
And did they ever polygraph him?
Okay, so that's where that gets interesting. So he ended up being ignored. So there's more audio that I received. I haven't been able to go through it all. So I didn't want to just play it before I could listen to it. But it's him following up, calling the CBI, calling the FBI. And they're like, all I can tell you is I can give a message to the people that handle this case. He's like, you don't understand. I've already talked to those people. And they're like, well, there's nothing more. I mean, literally, the lady on the phone says to him, there's nothing you can do. But then there was more audio after that. So he was blown off after he agreed to take a polygraph. They never reached out again. And he was trying to get them to call him, and they never did.
I wonder why she just ignored him.
Probably Graham.
Why?
It probably messed up their schedule. Schedule, you ask, right, Heather? What do you mean schedule, Jay? What are you talking about? Oh, wait, I have one thing to tell you before we go into the schedule. One more thing. This relates to what we're talking about. Let me open it, and then we're going to get to the schedule. I hope you guys can read this.
I don't know how to read.
It's tough on my end to read it. But hopefully you guys can. I've got some really good stuff tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here is...
Oh, is this the handwritten thing?
Yes.
All right, I'll pull that up in Slack because it's very hard to read.
Okay, so I've got it blown up. I don't know if that's any good. Let's see.
Yeah, you can see. Just maybe can you blow a little bit more or no?
That's as big as I can get it.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I can't necessarily read it myself. Okay, so the context of this note is this is Graham Coder's notes while they were sitting in the interrogation room with Chris. And the columns are her parents, Shanann, you, meaning Chris, and then down below it says lover. So at the top it says salmon fight. I can't really read that. Can you guys? Couldn't something. And then
the credit card, I think.
Yes, salmon fight credit card, which I think is how Shanann figured out that they were having an affair.
Yeah, because it says salmon flight credit card.
And then it says N. Kessinger.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does it say?
Saturday.
Sunday,
yeah.
It says Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Something game.
Rocky's game?
Oh, yeah, Rocky's game.
Rocky's game, pool party, and
Sunday night.
Sunday night. Yep.
Okay. Then it says her parents, and he didn't put anything down under her parents because they really didn't talk about her parents. But under Shanann, he put controlling.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one?
Micromanagement.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one?
No trust.
No let you. She made money fight you.
Kids dump off to mom.
Menu what she wants.
What she wants.
You have
You
to
have to
answer.
answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now he puts under Chris. Got your life back in North Carolina. Knows kids, mom. Knows kids.
Mom
Something.
doesn't.
Mom doesn't. He knows the kids.
He wrote
Shanae
Doesn't
doesn't.
have. Okay. Knows kids don't have asthma, is what he meant.
Yep.
Don't plan on bed. Play on bed. What?
Mhm.
Don't.
Didn't plan on bed.
Got you back to normal. Defended a woman that didn't respect you. What's the next one?
They should.
I should
They
be
should have
done.
been- They should have been
Best time. Of,
time.
Oh, that should have been the best time of marriage.
Yep.
You are passive and
oh gosh. Peacemaker?
Yep.
you are passive and peacemaker. She started it. Accident ? And he took care of the kids. Under lover. I don't know what the top one is. Her house, your house. Camping, sand dunes, junction. You love her.
Oh, her says house on market.
Yeah. The top one.
House on market. Yep. Talked and confided like never before. Lazy dog. What's the bottom one say?
Don't let her go down. What?
Yep.
Don't let her go down.
Damn.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Now read underneath that,
He
Maligator.
underlined it.
Read under that. No, this was done online.
Echo stores audio or
On servers.
Distress recognition.
Water
Work truck
truck.
every minute.
Yeah.
Nikki text message 7 days.
7 days.
Like 7 days and we're done. It's done.
I don't know.
Text message 7
Don't
days.
let her go down.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Wow. Well, now I can really read it.
Mhm.
Don't echo stores
Don't
audio.
let her go down.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to let her go down.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't.
No.
He didn't. In my opinion.
Nope.
All right,
Right.
so let's get on to Tammy Lee's schedule because this is the meat and potatoes of why we're even here. But I had to do all of this to kind of preface what I found. So you guys, you're like, what do you mean? How do you know Tammy Lee's schedule? Like,
And Mike.
aren't you wondering, like, what are you talking about, Jay? How do you know her schedule? Let's see.
This is crazy.
Let's look at number 1. Can you guys see my screen or no? Or no?
Yep. Yeah. Or no.
Oh, no.
Or no.
Oh, no.
I think I got it from you.
Where are my links? Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
You can't see it though.
No. But
Here we go. Okay, so what you're looking at is APA magazine. The magazine for the polygraph professional. So this, I think it's page 12 or 13. Okay, here we go. Now this is in the past, so we missed this one, but Friday, September 3rd of 2021, at the American Polygraph, whatever. This is in the APA magazine of 2021. And on Friday, September the 3rd of 2021, they had a class. And in classroom A, from 8 to 3 p.m. was Family Man to Family Annihilator, the Chris Watts case study. Headed by Graham Coder, FBI agent, special agent, and Tammy Lee, CBI agent. And it goes from 8 to 3 p.m. Goes all day, all until 3. So it does not, it's a case study. So I'm not really sure what they're studying or what they're teaching when they're still asking David Carter a year ago what the fuck happened. And if he'll take a polygraph and swear to what the fuck happened. What kind of class are they teaching?
Wow.
No clue. If they don't even know what they're talking about.
Family Man to Annihilator.
Family Man to Annihilator. What? Dude, they're still asking questions.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Okay, so this is just one, okay?
When was this? Because sorry, I missed it.
Oh, this happened September 3rd of 2021.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the first one. Let's get a little more into her schedule. And let's go here. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, so we have the Northeast South Dakota Family Violence Prevention Conference. Family Violence Prevention Conference. This is being held this September 28th and 29th in South Dakota. In Aberdeen, which is very ironic, South Dakota. So the speakers of this family violence engagement are Tammy Lee, an agent with the Colorado Bureau of Investigations. Tammy worked diligently to obtain the confession from Chris Watts.
No, she
and
didn't.
Graham Coder, an FBI agent currently assigned to the Violent Crimes Squad. He was the lead case agent during the Chris Watts quadruple homicide case. You heard it from her own words. They didn't even investigate.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the website for a tentative agenda and topic descriptions, shall we?
I would love to go, shall we?
I would love to go to South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. September 28th and 29th from 8 to 5. So here we go. This is what it's going to be about this year. Our goal is to provide evidence-based education to combat family violence and sexual violence. Special Agent Tammy Lee and Special Agent Coder will present the Chris Watts case study. Chris Watts pled guilty to murdering his wife, unborn son, and 2 daughters. This was a heartbreaking story that made national news. They will present the case study and show how domestic violence affects even what appears to be the perfect family. This story is featured in the Netflix series, The American Murder, The Family Next Door. So they're using a Netflix doc for their teaching on domestic violence.
I like how they say it's evidence-based, but they have no evidence.
No.
And,
Sloppy evidence.
I want to know what aspect of domestic violence are they talking about? Are they talking about the verbal abuse from Shanann? Because there was no physical abuse up until he actually killed them.
Right. And that's the only part of it that's domestic violence.
Yeah.
On his side.
Yeah, on his side, yeah.
But what evidence are they using? Are they using all of her Facebook videos?
That's not evidence.
I mean, if they did, I think those videos would show verbal abuse and emotional abuse on him, if you want my honest opinion. So what are they using as evidence to prove that This was family violence in the fact of a prevention conference.
Two yahoos should not be teaching anything about domestic violence.
I would love to see what
Green
they
Eye
are.
said, "Are they dating?" For real? Okay, wait. We're not done. We're not done.
Like, are they using real evidence we haven't seen?
No, they're basing it off this fucking Netflix.
Which was one-sided.
It's
completely.
horrible.
Wow.
It's horrible. Okay, so ready? Here we go. Ready? This is for National Law Enforcement Week. This just happened June 13th at Eagle Heights Baptist Church in Harrison, Arkansas. The Christopher Watts case study. And it's got Netflix right there.
Wow.
Now.
They sure love to use this man for money.
Yeah. So this case
That's gross.
has been featured on Netflix, American Murder, The Family Next Door, Amazon A&E Crime Central, Behind the Headlines, Watts Family, Oxygen, Chris Watts Criminal Confessions, Lifetime, Confession of a Killer. Lifetime movie, Investigation Discovery, Family Man, Family Murder, and Fox News and NBC News. Christopher Watts case study from the investigators who worked the investigation. Colorado Bureau of Investigation agent Tammy Lee and FBI Special Agent Graham Coder. They will discuss the process of the investigation. What? Interview techniques, the polygraph test, and also the issues they faced mentally after the investigation was complete.
Well, they seem
Interview
just fine
techniques.
traveling all over doing these things. They don't seem to be too affected.
They're busy.
That's
They're
why they
busy
don't want to go up there.
AF.
How
They're
can
busy AF. Have you ever seen
No.
FBI or state agents create a educational presentation based on a fucking Netflix documentary that
No.
was basically produced by the victim's family, and they are going to go around. This is for National Law Enforcement Week.
Wow.
This is the main website.
Do you have to be law enforcement to go to these things?
Yes, and it's like $800. It's
Wow.
a week-long conference. And this was part of it, you guys. This is what they're doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see if they were like actually using and showing evidence, but they're basing it on movies. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I'm in shock right now. I
And-
thought this one I didn't think you could pull anything else out of your ass.
Well, I've got more.
Case?
I'm not
Holy shit.
I'm not done yet. I've got more.
I feel so bad for his family.
I know it.
Can't imagine.
I know it. I know it. So
I really want to know what they have to say in their conferences, though.
And that's why I asked if it was just law enforcement, because I would totally go.
well, no, the one in South Dakota is for professionals working with families experiencing domestic. So this is who they're training on this at the domestic violence. This training is designed for professionals working with families experiencing domestic violence, child maltreatment, SA, and trauma. Participants will hear from nationally known speakers regarding the latest research, practical experiences, and methods of addressing all forms of maltreatment. Where does Chris Watts fit in that bill?
It doesn't. He doesn't. They should not be there.
Could I go in the medical?
Alligator want to go in September?
I mean, I work in the medical field.
Well, I could go. I mean, we talk to people that are experiencing domestic violence every day
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Yeah.
You just have to pay, I think.
How much is that one? I've never been
Let's
to
go to
South
their
Dakota.
website.
What day of the week is it on?
I don't know. September 28th and 29th. These would be your hosts here.
28th and 29th, a Wednesday and Thursday. That's random.
Conference highlights. Investigators from the Watts family murder case, American Murder, Family Next Door, featured on Netflix.
Yes, because that's how I want to be professionally known.
I mean, at least this one here, it says review of John Heminger first degree murder case. I mean, at least they're not showing a movie.
Mm-hmm.
They
What?
take you directly to the
The
trailer.
link.
When I clicked on American Murder, it took me to the trailer on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
you
See,
gonna
there's
It
my
has-
shirt. You can see the color of it now.
Oh, yeah. Let me pause or let me mute it. Yeah, that wasn't the same shirt in that bag.
No.
But see, she had a black sweater on over it.
Mm-hmm.
So he did say black or gray.
And her shirt looks gray.
And he was right. Gray shirt and she has that black thing over it.
It's sad they're making money off of this and they didn't even do an investigation.
I know. In her own words.
Yeah.
Hang on. Tammy Lee, oxygen. We didn't investigate. I'm sure it's got to be on here. Let's see what this 52-second one is.
I watched this today. So they're just teaching these people how to watch.
What?
I said,
What?
so they're teaching these people how to watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Could you hear that or no?
No, we can hear it. I thought you were just
Oh.
That's why I was
That's
talking. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Let's see what this first degree murder case is that they're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. The murder of Jessica. Hang on, it's still loading. It's loading really slow. But yeah, she said we didn't even investigate. Murder of Jessica Goebel by ex-boyfriend John Heminger. And this was in May of 2020. He stabbed his former girlfriend, Jessica Goebel, 26 times, and this was in South Dakota.
26 times. Yikes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Her injuries included a fractured skull and a slashed throat. The mother of young children was rushed to the hospital in Sioux Falls, but died 5 days later. Police zeroed in on two suspects, her current boyfriend, Richard Hanley, or the father of her children, John Heminger. Heminger was allegedly angered that Jessica had put an end to their 4-year-long relationship and started dating Richard. The night she died, Heminger sent his former girlfriend multiple abusive texts before he grabbed his roommate's knife and went round to her house. So that's the case. I mean, at least, ew.
At
That's
least,
in.
yeah, at least that gives details and not to a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and then this guy he also appealed. So, I mean, at least there's like some follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, they're directing the Watts thing straight to freaking Netflix.
Not even to like their case file.
What's his
right.
name
Not
again?
even their discovery.
No. That's why I was curious what they would be. I can't go during the week because I start my new job, but I have weekends.
Assessing risk of domestic situations and evaluating offenders' behaviors.
Wow.
So here's the speakers. There's Tammy. In 2019, she received Agent of the Year for her work. Tammy worked diligently to obtain the confession from Chris Watts, who is now serving 5 life sentences plus 84 years in prison. Read full bio. Does somebody want to read a little bit?
Heather, you can.
All right. Hold on.
Do I need to make it bigger?
Let me switch to full screen. I do that again? Nope, that should be good. Agent Tammy Lee currently works as field agent for the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. Agent Lee has worked in a variety of capacities while employed by the CBI, which includes major crimes, gaming, organized crime, and human trafficking. Agent Lee has extensive experience in investigating homicides, sexual assaults, crimes against children, officer-involved shootings, human trafficking, and organized crime. In 2017, Agent Lee was named the Colorado Bureau of Investigation's Agent of the Year. Jay.
Can you see it now, motherfuckers?
Now I can. Where was it? Agent Lee has been a certified polygraph examiner since 2013 and has conducted hundreds of criminal and pre-employment examinations. In May of 2019, Agent Lee received a national award from the American Association of Police Polygraphists.
Polygraphists.
Polygraphists. There we go.
That's a mouthful. Say that 3 times fast.
No, thank you. Related to her involvement with a missing person investigation, which was initiated August of 2018 out of Frederick, Colorado. Agent Lee was assigned as the case agent for the missing person investigation, which involved a pregnant mother, Shanann Watts, and her 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste. Agent Lee assisted with the polygraph and interrogation of the suspect, Christopher Watts. Christopher Watts ultimately confessed to murdering his pregnant wife and burying her in a shallow grave and disposing of his 2 young daughters in large oil tanks. In November of 2018, Christopher Watts pled guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree murder of a child under the age of 12, 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body, and 1 count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy. Christopher Watts was sentenced to 5 life sentences plus 84 years in prison.
She looks unrecognizable.
She doesn't even look like her.
She definitely had
some work done.
And now she's on the road. Now she is on the road. And if you'd like to meet her, I'm sure anybody can go to that event. I mean, if you're affected by domestic violence, it sounds like you're welcome.
You know what? She goes into talk about Chris Watts and how he confessed to murdering his wife, but she doesn't say in her bio that he confessed to murdering his 2 children.
Yeah, it does. Scroll up.
Confessed to murdering his pregnant wife and burying her.
Go up. Nope, the other way.
Yeah. No.
Disposing.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It just says, and disposing
what?
of the 2 young daughters. Does not say.
Does not say murdering.
Nope.
What?
No.
Whoa, the wording. Christopher Watts ultimately confessed to murdering his pregnant wife and burying her in a shallow grave and disposing of his 2 young daughters in large oil tanks.
Yeah.
And then it just goes on to say that he pled guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree murder of a child under the age of 12, 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body, and 1 count of unlawful termination.
Yeah, didn't put in.
Yep.
Wow. She didn't put murdering and disposing of his 2 daughters like she did with
No, who killed the girls? Why is that left out?
Tammy Lee, what are you leaving out?
Oh boy. Good catch. Well, we all know, Janice, that he is definitely guilty of killing his wife. That's not disputed. That's definitely not disputed. But I mean, she even doesn't put in here that he killed his young daughters. Murder of wife, disposing of the children.
Yep.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, no one's saying he's innocent of anything. I mean, we know that, he's going to spend his life in prison as it is, but...
Oh, yeah.
But if other people or someone else is involved, as they should as well.
But that other person has a new identity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yep.
Does Chris's family think she's involved?
I don't know. I don't want to speak for them.
Right.
But I will ask them.
Or heard.
Yeah, I've never really straight up asked that question.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Because
this
I
makes
think I think they just are so, they don't know what happened. You know, they're just like us, except this is their son.
but maybe
And
just this wording of these things and how they didn't follow up with that other guy, it makes you just wonder.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the
That's-
wording of this is very sus because you know she approved this. If
Mhm.
she did,
If she didn't
had to have
write it.
yeah, I mean, she submitted this.
Mm-hmm.
She submitted this to the domestic violence site to put her bio up.
And who doesn't follow up with someone that's willing to give a polygraph?
Yeah, I mean,
about-
she's traveling anyways.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
She's
there
all
could
over
have
the
been
place.
possible. They don't know for a fact that she wasn't involved. There's no proof and evidence or in any of that she was not involved. She pinged there.
They let her off the hook.
They did. I think she
Now
wrote
think about if this had went to trial, who would have been their star witness and probably would have been granted immunity?
Nikki.
Nikki.
That's why I think she opened her mouth and said stuff and she ran. And she threw Chris way under the bus.
Oh, she didn't even think twice about that.
Do you know that when Chris was being brought out after the sentencing, you know, that day in November, he was taken, you know, back to go back to the jail. And he says that when he walked back there in the hallway, that Nikki was back there.
Really?
And that she smirked at him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I gotcha.
Oh, I didn't know she was there.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I've often wondered, okay, we all saw Chris in the sentencing. He was absolutely beside himself. He's been in solitary, you know, he's, you know, just out of his mind probably and in shock. And all of this is happening. I don't know. Maybe did he hallucinate that? Did he think he saw her or did he really see her?
If no one knew her at the time and she wasn't public, she very well could have went.
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading chat.
If nobody knew her at the time and she was not public at that moment, she could have been there. No one would have known the wiser.
And if she went to the police first,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to get her story to them.
Mm-hmm.
Covering her own butt.
I mean, we have so many things, you guys. The ping, the not clocking in,
Her deleting things.
Yeah.
her deleting things.
I mean, there's more evidence, in my opinion, leading to that some involvement in some way than her not being involved at all.
I agree.
And now she's off where?
Jenna said she heard she's still in Denver.
Well, she said in that interview she was going to their
Safe house.
safe house.
She
in
knew a safe house, and I think it was Jim's place.
Jim's
Probably.
because
Yeah.
Jim has a place in Denver.
Yes, but he was like traveling for work.
Yep. To
Because when
Wisconsin.
she called him, yeah, it was a Milwaukee number.
Mhm.
Yeah, her researching Shanann like a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she was far more into Chris than she ever let on in those interviews.
Oh,
I feel
agree.
like she downplayed it.
Mm-hmm. By saying
I
she wanted
think
to give him
they
her
were both
son.
as equally into each other until Shanann got back. And Shanann came back, but then quickly left again. So that was like kind of like okay, we still have a little bit of time left. You know, she's only home for a couple days and then she's going to be taken off again. Well, that Sunday, shit got real
Mm-hmm.
because Shanann was coming home for good. And I don't know, but I feel like that night, the 111-minute phone call
Mm-hmm.
and everything that happened after that phone call, before Shanann got home, has everything to do with what happened between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock.
I agree.
I think she put the pressure on him. And I think it's weird, too, that when she's interviewed NK says, oh, he was laying on the bed when we FaceTimed. Now, she's talking about a FaceTime. They're asking her about this 111 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
FaceTimes don't show up as minutes on your phone bill.
No.
FaceTimes are Wi-Fi. So she's all, oh yeah, we were on FaceTime and he was laying on the bed and it had no sheets and he was really weird. And he was just staring at me. Remember that?
Yep.
And so she was kind of almost prefacing, because if he wrapped Shanann in the sheet, which we know he did because the sheet was out there at the site and the other one was in the garbage. So why is she talking about no sheets on the bed when the sheets would have been on the bed until after Shanann got home?
Mm-hmm.
He would have been laying on sheets unless he was washing them before Shanann got home. But I almost feel like she was trying to make it sound like this was all Chris. Like, you know, he was acting weird and, you know, he was just staring at me and was looking creepy. Like, she was making it sound like he was already out of his mind before Shanann got home. That's Monday night, Snow?
Well, she
I
said
thought that was
Sunday. She said that was Sunday.
Yeah.
The sheets.
No, she said not Sunday. She said Monday night. Because that was the night. Oh, am I mistaken then? Because that was the night he stayed home by himself. He stayed at the Thayers the next night. So he stayed at home, and that was when he said, oh, I was hoping they'd barrel rush in and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he cleaned.
Yep.
He cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
He cleaned.
And like her saying she wanted to be the first to give him a son, and then she said, go there and spend time with your family, and if you can rekindle, but then messaging him, oh, you can't answer me, are you with her? She was a controlling crazy, if you ask me. She was
Okay.
controlling.
Yes. Okay, so Shh wants to say, thank you for your super chat. Shh. I like that name. Shh. NK said it was Cece's bed, not theirs. Love you, but I want to make sure the facts are right. She said the convo happened after. Okay. So it was Monday. I was incorrect. And apparently he was laying on Cece's bed. I thought it was theirs. But, so that was when they went to the house and he was washing the sheets that day. He like cleaned and washed their bedding and told her that the sheets stunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would she even mention that he was laying on a bed with no sheets?
Yeah, why would she know that? Like, why?
Like, they didn't bring that up to her that we saw anyway.
Like, why would that be important?
I just think there's a lot more that we didn't see. I mean, like she says, oh, we didn't get to talk to all the people we wanted to. So there's so much redacted.
Yep.
So many pages redacted, right?
Yeah.
But we don't have any interviews from Sandy Rusek. All she did was write a letter. I mean, if I had evidence that when my daughter was missing, her friend said, or her mother said, check the knives when they were entering the house, I might want to ask her mom why she told Nicole or whatever, Nicole Atkinson, to check the knives. What kind of thing is that to say?
Weird statement.
Check the knives. So I would want to sit down with this woman and I would be like, okay, what's going on? Why did you tell Nikki to check the knives? Tells me there's something that has happened before with the knives. I don't know what. You wouldn't just pull that out of your asshole.
No.
Check the knives?
Something happened before that we don't know about. Or something was mentioned and it was never looked into.
It bothers me. Check the knives.
That wouldn't be the first thing I would think of if my daughter were missing.
No. And they were it was right when the Chris had come home and he was unlocking the door. And she was out there with the police officer and he was taking a minute to get to the front door. And when he opened it, she said, or he was opening it and she goes, I give you permission to go in my daughter's house. Like that.
Yeah.
And then he opened the door. Oh, dude, I've got this shit memorized. And she said, Nikki, check the knives.
Yeah.
And I heard that and I was like, what? Check the knives?
Not, hey, is my daughter there? Are my granddaughters there? No, go
Check
check
their
the
bedrooms.
knives.
Yeah, check their bedrooms. No, check the fucking knives.
Yeah. And her son finding the phone, odd to me as well.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Shit's weird.
In the cushions, that's...
Mm-hmm.
And her knowing the password and Chris not knowing, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah.
There seriously is so much. I've got one other piece to show you guys. I'm not done yet. I know you guys are probably like, oh my God. I have been holding this in, man,
No,
for a
we're not.
long time. Like,
We haven't talked about Watts in so long, though, so it's
I know.
kind of nice.
This is all good.
But this is
stuff,
all like
though,
stuff we've not talked about before,
that
you know?
Oh, yeah.
like beat to the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yep.
this is new stuff since the murders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is this piece from Discovery. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me make it bigger. Okay. So this says at the very bottom, this is what I thought was interesting. So remember when we watched the body cam and they're in there like reenacting the baby cam and they have a doll and they're acting like they're like suffocating the doll. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So they took a video of that. And I never really thought much of it. But then I saw this yesterday and it says, hang on Friday, August 17th, 2018, I was requested by Deputy District Attorney Patrick Rocho. Who? Who the fuck is he? To send him the video I took on my work phone of the baby monitor screen. I was able to successfully send him the video. I was like, who? The Deputy District Attorney of Weld County, Patrick Rocho. Or Roach. Or,
Yeah, it's Roach.
what's that all about?
No idea.
I had no clue that he was even involved in this.
But he wanted to see
The baby monitor.
the baby monitor.
Why that of all things? That's weird.
Because Chris Watts said that he saw his
Oh, that's
babies
right.
being strangled on the baby monitor.
Yep,
Mhm.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Krugs. She said this has been an awesome live. Good work, Jay and team. Green-eyed PI, you can't get past the halter top.
Whose? Oh, Tammy's.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
thought
think
she was
they ever
holding
found-
shampoo, but that's her
It's
award.
an award.
I don't think they ever found her watch, did they? I thought it was just her phone. Because she put phone and
No.
Apple Watch and couch cushions.
Yeah, we've got a lot more to go over regarding this case. There's a lot that's come to light in my eyes and things that have been brought to my attention that I want to go over. I mean, little things like this, like don't let her go down. I mean, all these things matter, But the way that they put them in there and dropped them in the discovery out of order like they did.
Yep.
It's confusing. And they knew that it would be confusing. You know?
Yep. Agreed.
But I guess that's all I have. I mean, that's all. That's it. Just a few things.
I'm just curious what chat thinks about all of this. What they think, like what you.
I know. That's what I'm going through now. Oh, I wanted to look up who that guy is. What was his name?
Roach.
Deputy
District
Attorney.
Roach. Roche. Yeah, why didn't they ever interview Shanann's mom? Why did they just let her send a letter? But they interviewed the dad and the brother.
I don't know. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that too. Who else is missing from the discovery?
So what?
Gina Dietz, the ones that Chris Watts lived with prior to Shanann even moving out to Colorado, the one that got her the job at the hospital, the one that was at the vigil. Nothing in discovery about her. I mean, their damn dog they got from her. Yeah. They got Dieter from her, but she's nowhere in the discovery. Why? Why wasn't her interview in there? Why didn't they interview her?
Because they just didn't do anything. They just rushed it up and.
Do you really? I mean, if you think about it, the only people they really interviewed were the Thrive people. And like Chris's friend Mark and coworkers.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they want to say like NA was her best friend and stuff. But really, NA was friends with Sandy.
Yeah, that's how they met.
Right. Yep. They met through her mom. So
and like Christina and what's that other one that's up this way?
Oh, Abby or Allie.
Addie. Yeah, like they're just coworkers. They're not, I mean,
they're Thrive people. They saw
MLM.
what Shanann wanted to show them, you know? Because when we hear like they were already talking about separation, she had already made the phone call to Ann Meadows to get the house on the market. But she didn't tell her Thrive friends that. Because she had a certain, she had an image to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's Patrick Thomas Roach. Who is this guy? I've never even seen him.
Yeah, because he wasn't even the prosecutor.
He looks plastic.
It says the second. Would that be him?
Yeah, he's been there since August 2013. He's been there for 9 years.
Interesting.
And he went from being a construction to the district attorney.
Well, I wonder if they're elected there.
Unless he was a lawyer for his family's.
Yeah, maybe.
He's probably the lawyer for them. I don't know.
Well, it says building manager.
Employees. Look.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got to sign in. I'm not signing into that.
Interesting.
They have 80 employees.
But he wasn't the district attorney through the case.
No, he's the deputy district attorney. He's over. Okay. He's over Rourke.
Okay.
Yeah, he's yeah. And he wanted the damn video of the baby monitor. Why?
Is it? And that's the only time he's ever talked about in Discovery, correct?
I've never seen him before. I've never even heard his name before. It was always D.A. Rourke, but apparently this dude had someone send him the video of their baby monitor. Why? What was he looking at? What were they pondering? Don't you think that's weird?
Very.
On Friday, August 17th, 2018, I was requested by Deputy District Attorney Patrick Roach to send him the video I took on my work phone of the baby monitor's screen. I was able to successfully send him the video.
And it's Sergeant Bakes.
Yeah, just a Frederick Police Department guy.
Yeah.
Was requested by the Deputy District Attorney for this video on the 17th. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
It was weird without Potato tonight.
I know. I think she fell out on us. I hope she's okay.
I bet you she fell asleep and is going to wake up and be like, dang it.
She's going to be upset that she missed it. When did Shanann do that Facebook post about being married to... Oh, that was Father's Day. That was in June. It was a Father's Day post. Oh, the deputy DA is under the district attorney? My bad.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I'm sorry. I had that wrong then. Okay. So he was probably collecting evidence and assisting the DA.
But it's just odd that that's the only time he's...
Well, yeah, I mean that they requested that too. Makes you wonder. Yeah, he looks plastic.
So face makes you go,
Yeah, makes things that make you go,
The watch face.
Well, thanks you guys for coming up and listening to all this tonight. I think that it was some good info.
It was. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.
It was awesome.
It was
I
nice to dive back into this.
Yeah, and I think we have some valid things to go over and to discuss in the future. So,
yeah, like I was totally out of it, and now I'm like,
I never entertained the NK theory in the beginning ever.
No, neither did I. But now that we talk about it,
I can't ignore it. I can't ignore what all of the little things we talked about. You know, you can't ignore it. There's too many.
And if she pinged that day and they said, oh, it's because she travels to work, then there should be pings showing other days of the same pings, but there's not.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like if she like randomly drove that route and ended up, randomly, it would ping off of Frederick Tower, but none other than the morning of the murders. I mean, come on.
And that's not even
Thank you, Lori.
The most direct route to her work from where she lived.
And then to be late to not punch in at work.
Oh yeah, that one day she just forgets. Oh, I forgot to clock in. And
she happens to be the safety person as well. So that's a little interesting.
I think we're going to do some digging into exactly what her job description would be at that company. Like exactly.
She was a contractor, right? She wasn't.
She was, but she filled positions there, right? So we need to know what her exact position and her like job description. I'm sure people have already dug this up years ago. I just wasn't on that train.
Yeah, I think she was like.
She was definitely contracted out, but she had to have a description of her job. And I want to know exactly what it entailed. I know she monitored things from the office and she would hit the guys up that are out on the field. But I think it's very interesting, the whole hatch thing. And then how about remember we were watching the body cam and the dog handler went by that dumpster and the dog was like, wah, 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 and she was just ignoring it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that the kids' toys and blankets could have been in that dumpster.
Oh, I think so.
I agree. Because he said out in the field that he left the toys laying out there. And
But
what
they
about
didn't find them?
He didn't. He couldn't have.
No. But wouldn't his GPS or in his truck show he went to that dumpster and dropped that stuff off
Well,
first?
it's right on his road, so it would
Yeah.
just show him coming home.
He could have
It'd be
just
right
driven
along
by
his
on his way
route.
home.
Green-eyed PI says, I know what job she did, LOL.
Oh gosh. We know that side of the story.
Yeah, right?
A little too much of that side of the story.
TMI. You know, and then where's what's her name's interview? NK's friend Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
Remember, she didn't want Charlotte to know about Chris being married with kids because Charlotte's parents got divorced because one of them cheated, and she didn't agree with that. So she wasn't going to share that with her.
Yeah,
So
why didn't they interview her? Because she knew.
I
She
think they
knew that
did. That had to be redacted. Like, that's got to be the redacted stuff. Like,
So it says here she was
what about Hisham Bedwan? Wouldn't they want to talk to him? The Dirty South Customs guy?
right.
Yeah.
Where's his? I mean, they didn't talk to him at all. They're talking to these fucking Thrive people
They
that
well,
like
and
went
they
on a
talked
few
to her.
trips with them.
Talked to
And
her
the fact that
ex-husband.
they let her dad in the interview room was insane to me as well.
Oh, with NK, yeah.
I'm just wondering, where are these other people's interviews?
I mean, they pulled out her ex-husband, who was not involved in any way, hadn't talked to her. Why not go? Yeah, you're right, to that dirty customs, dirty south.
Right.
Whatever.
You would think that Hisham, I mean, you got little Bella on Facebook videos going, hi, Hisham. I
Yeah.
would think you'd talk to Hisham before you talk to Leonard King. Leonard King was a thing fucking before Chris Watts,
Way before.
but
I-
Hisham wasn't.
I found out what she did.
Who?
NK, she was the company's risk and safety. It said she met with supervisors like Chris to ensure that equipment is properly maintained and that employees implement required safety practices.
So she would know all about those hatches then, you would think. If she has to
Yep,
know the safety of.
She would.
Well, she was monitoring those, I think, like the levels.
Yep.
Leaks, because they had a leak.
Oh, they had a leak. Remember, he was supposed to fix a fucking leak.
Yep. That's why he was out there, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay, that's what we need to visit next time. Revisit is the story of what he was supposed to be doing that morning, because I think that, whoa, because that's where he took a shit too, isn't it?
Yep.
And I swear there was throw up as well, if I recall.
I think there
yeah.
was. You don't do that and not have some physical reaction.
Does everyone in chat honestly think that he and you guys, like your thoughts, that he could do all of that in that little time frame of him going out, and by the time they called him to dig, put them up, go up in them tanks and come back like not with 1 ounce of bead of sweat on him?
Wait a minute. So let's think about Friday when he said, oh, I'll go out there on Monday. Who called that coworker, Troy, I think it was, and said, there's a leak. We need you to go out to Survey. Because remember, he met him for the fire stick.
Well, he said he would go out, and Chris said, no, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I'll do it. He texted him after, I think.
After.
Yep.
After. That's what I'm wondering. Was NK the one to call Troy? Would she be the one to call Troy? Because you just said like she would communicate with the supers. So was Troy a supervisor, or was Chris Troy's supervisor? I don't know if I really know that. But she would know if there was a leak and where it was. And then he miraculously, the same day they go to the fucking Rockies game, he's like, oh, I'll do it. And then she doesn't clock in.
Yep.
That's not
Girl,
sus at
you know,
all.
she could have been out there already digging the hole.
Shame, shame, shame on all these lies. Bella and Cece deserved better.
They
Yeah.
did. They do.
They
all
do
did.
deserve better. So before we go, I just want to share a little story from the Watts that just about the grave site. I wanted to just let you guys know that they went out there on, I think it was Mother's Day or something like that. And you may have heard this somewhere else, I don't know. But they went out to the grave site, and within minutes, Mr. Rusek pulled up and sat in his truck. Just sat there.
Creepy. How did he know they were there?
I bet you they have a camera.
There's a camera in the woods
Mm-hmm.
next to the gravesite.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure too, just make sure no one vandalizes and make sure who's going there so they can watch and see.
Which is a little weird to me, but
Well, what if I'm visiting family nearby? I don't want you watching me.
it's a little weird.
It is
It's
weird.
a little weird.
And
But
they
yeah, then it happened again at Cece's birthday. And they make sure they go out there either the day before or the day after, just so they don't run into anybody. They don't, cause anybody to feel a certain way. And they did that for Cece's birthday, and another car came in and sat and watched.
sad.
So I just,
Wow. That's their grandchildren too. Come on.
yeah, give me a break. Give me a break.
They shouldn't be held responsible. Whether Chris did it, not did it, whatever. Those were their grandbabies.
It's a grave site.
Yeah.
They're out there playing songs. They're bringing flowers.
Yeah. That's
I don't know. It is really sad. So I just, I feel like people need to know, like, that they haven't forgotten these girls. They've always loved these girls, and they've always loved these girls throughout this whole thing, and they've never stopped going to the gravesite, and they've never stopped, wanting a personal effect of theirs or anything like that. They love those girls dearly, and if you guys all knew, like, all the things they did prepping for that 6-week vacation for those girls to come stay at their house, buying trampolines, buying pools, buying all the snacks that they could have, everything that they want,
And then shouldn't do it.
Well, and to get accused of trying to murder one of them, and then, all this happens, you have no answers, just like we have no answers, they have no answers, and they go out to pay their respects and pray and play songs and take flowers, and they can't even do that in peace.
No.
No.
And, I sit here and I watch the Alex Jones trial of, the Sandy Hook, and the victims of Sandy Hook are suing him for defamation for the things that he said about questioning the government's story and everything that he did. And then I look at this and I think, these people can't even go out to a gravesite in peace. Mm-hmm. They can't even grieve in peace. They shouldn't have to grieve separately.
Nope.
So, anyways, they're all, I don't know.
Yeah,
too much hate.
Do people go around bashing other people's parents if somebody's kid does something like? I feel like they made them the just as guilty as Chris from day one.
Why do you think that the Watts were vilified?
Because they wanted to stand by their son and protect him, which is what they would do as parents.
But what did they really do publicly that really protected him, that made everybody so mad?
I think it's more than that too. I think it's Shanann's
social media.
Yeah, and the nut incident and how she portrayed that, and that got spread around. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it came from her. And those texts that came out about over my dead body. Will his parents be seeing them again? And
Yeah, I mean,
think it was
Chris stopped talking to his parents.
for years prior.
Mm-hmm.
But they were good. They were good since Bella was born. From what I've been told, everything was good. When she got pregnant with Bella, they put everything aside. They put everything aside. So like there was no problems when she went to North Carolina. She was planning on staying with the Watts during the week. And then on the weekends, and then she would go to her parents' house during the week. So it was like totally planned. Her dad picked her up on Monday, then dropped her back off for the weekend. So she was fully, on board to spend time with the in-laws, and everything was good until the ice cream incident. And that was when Cindy was accused of trying to kill Cece. And it was just came out of the clear blue and just was really over the top, like anger over the top. So it makes me think that there was a lot going on with Shanann to make something like that, make her snap like that at Cindy, like something that, ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And there was ice cream in there that they got at Walmart that the girls could eat. So it wasn't like there wasn't something for them, but Cece wanted the one that, their other granddaughter had. And for her to just fly off the handle, I'm thinking it was a multitude of emotions, like the stress, being pregnant, marital problems. You're probably suspicious that your husband's cheating.
Yeah.
You're going to be a single mother with 3 kids, a newborn. God knows what else was going on that we don't even know about. Money.
Been away from your husband for 6 weeks.
I mean, yeah. And you've got a hearing because you didn't pay the fucking homeowners and you lied and said you sent the checks to the wrong address. I mean, it was a mess. She hadn't paid the house payment in months. There was
they had to take from his 401k.
Well, they had done that earlier, and then they were defaulted again. They took from the 401k in the spring to catch up from prior, and then they fell behind again over the summer. So losing the house. They've already filed bankruptcy twice or once?
Once.
So they were on the verge of a second bankruptcy. A lot was going on. So she snaps about ice cream.
Mm-hmm. I think she lived beyond her means for an image.
Well, of course she did.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they filed bankruptcy. I mean, but if you know, like, Chris's history, he saved his money.
Mm-hmm.
He worked and saved, and he didn't have to have things. Like, that wasn't him. He didn't want those material things. I mean, we all saw the house she was living in North Carolina. It was out of this world for a 20-something-year-old person.
Single, alone.
She didn't buy that house. Janice Burns. I want to see what she's... Okay, so I asked, why did everybody villainize the Watts? She said it was the way she talked about Shanann. I don't care, but that's why people had a problem with her. I agree. I think that was part of it. I think in her interview, I think people took her brutal honesty and didn't know what to do with it. Because we had all of these videos that showed this perfect family, this perfect life, this, just the all-American family. And then we had the mother-in-law, portrayed as like the monster-in-law, come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, they weren't a good match. She was just being honest. But I think it was just very raw and very fresh. And I think people saw Shanann's videos and felt like they knew her. If we didn't have that social media, no one would have given a rip about Cindy Watts' interview.
I agree.
We all felt like we knew Shanann because we saw her videos. And look at the people, they still think they know her. All these people carrying torches and, attacking people for talking about the case like we are tonight in a respectful way. There's still people out there doing that. It's weird.
It's
Go ahead,
really
Heather.
weird. Well,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. I think a lot of it was she was murdered, and if you even criticize someone that was murdered, you get hate, even if that's the truth. So I think that's a big thing too.
Mm-hmm. How dare you be honest?
Yeah.
Oh, we'd all like to just rather have our asses buttered and have you. I mean, now imagine if she would have done that interview and said, "Oh, it was great. Everything was wonderful. I can't even imagine what they would have been fighting about." What would you have thought of her then? You would have said, "Lady, you're full of shit."
Mm-hmm. And he would have
I
hated her for
respect her
that.
honesty. Mm-hmm. I respect her honesty. And obviously, they weren't a good match. She was right.
Yeah.
I mean, look how it ended.
Look how it began.
Look how it began.
And you can tell it was mainly like she always kind of forced him to be in videos. You could see he was never.
He was
really
uncomfortable.
happy
Yeah.
in them. Yes.
He didn't want to sell that crap.
Like that Santa one. Oh, that gives
He
me.
wanted to be a fucking mechanic. You know, he wanted to work on cars. He didn't want to be selling things and making videos and making, I don't know, Thrive Bites.
He did always seem to be the one caring for the kids, though, while she was always doing lives.
When you saw Coder's notes, cared for the kids.
Mhm.
How many times do you see CC on that man's hip in those videos?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even count.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back to what this David said. He couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But damn it, if he even wanted to or wanted her to, that's not good. That's bad. So, but if she was involved, that's messed up. And I'm glad. What was it, Maligator? Did you catch that with the wording in that thing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think that says a lot because that's brand new too. That is brand new. I'm still using my pen. If you're here, Heather. I just think that says a lot.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot brought up tonight that was like dropping the bomb.
And he wasn't read any of his rights or anything before that interview in Wisconsin. So I don't think she can like officially call that a confession. I think they can just kind of add it as case notes, right?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if he
Oh,
was
no.
read his rights before, though, when he was officially arrested, I don't think they have to reread him his rights if he voluntarily gave information without.
But they
Yeah.
came there, so it wasn't really voluntary.
They pretended it wasn't
They
for
pretended-
more. Remember, the case was closed, so he didn't think him saying anything was going to affect him in any way.
Yeah, they thought it was like they portrayed it as just a conversation.
Mm-hmm. But in
Right,
reality,
so case notes.
it was to sink his ship.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Throw
help
that
them.
in the case file. Okay, so Snow says one contradiction I notice is that Frank Rusek Sr. notes that the kids always wanted to go to their dad. But somewhere else, it said the kids preferred mom. I've never seen it said that they preferred mom. Where did you see that?
I've always seen that they wanted Chris over her.
Mm-hmm. What are you working on, Laura W? She said, I was working on sanding a piece of furniture earlier and just listening. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch all of this a bit closer.
Yes, you don't want to miss it. Rewatch.
Oh, Snow doesn't remember. I've never heard that.
Me either.
So Janice Burns says, this is the problem I have. He insisted they were coming home until Tammy said, did Shanann do something to the girls? Yeah, what made him flip at that moment?
Maybe he realized he could blame it on Shanann, try and keep Nikki as far away as possible. Like blame Shanann so they don't look at Nikki.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and watch that like in a whole because she
Yeah.
also brings up that other case.
Yeah, she put this all in his head.
Oh, that case
And
that she never
Larissa
should. Yeah.
Rodriguez. Yes. And I want to go over that case with you guys and go through what Larissa Rodriguez did. And maybe we can do that like, I don't know, tomorrow or something like this week. Because I mean, it won't take long. I just want to go over the brief synopsis of what happened with that case. And I know she killed her kids, but and also talk about the reason why she brought it up. Because she wanted to see
His reaction.
Mhm.
She never should have brought that up anyway, though.
They can do whatever they want, though. That's what's the sad.
You know, that technique that
know.
she uses, the Reed technique, is illegal in the UK. They don't allow their investigators to lie
Hmm.
in order to get a confession.
Which I think.
I like that.
Yeah, me
Mhm.
too. That's how it should be
I don't
here.
think they should be able to lie to you and trick you. If they don't have the evidence, then they have no business setting you down yet.
Mhm.
They better get back to biz and collecting their evidence, right?
Yep.
Mhm. Just like
And-
that Brandon Dassey who struggled mentally.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys brought that up the last time we talked about
They
this. Yep.
railroaded that kid like no other. I just think that should not be allowed. All he kept saying was, I want to go home. Can I go home now? And they kept telling him, yep, you can go home when we're done. They
Yeah, 'cause
lied.
he was even like, I have a test that I need to get back to or a project or something.
And I think that's what they did to Chris. They put him in a spot. They made him think he was going to be okay. She was rubbing his back, trying to make it like we know it was Shanann. Yeah.
Now that I heard that part about the lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
I have not caught that before. Like that pisses
What
me
part
off.
about the lawyer? Which
Where
He says he wants a lawyer, not just a public defender.
yeah,
Oh,
Ronnie.
yeah. And they kept going.
And then he
Mhm.
was like, we'll talk about that later.
Mhm.
No, that's not how this works.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
how any of this works.
That
but
right there is pretty bad.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
Heather Bratt said, we're expected to believe Shanann came home at 2 a.m. and just randomly decided to kill her kids who were already in bed. Do you guys have a response?
And now that you brought up the whole, like, she was walking around the house in her undies and t-shirt, I don't know. I find it hard to believe she would walk to her kids' room and just, I don't know.
I don't think it was random at all. I don't think anything about this was random. I think that if it went down that Shanann did hurt them, like he said, it would have had to have been in the heat of the moment. It would have had to have been like a snapped situation. Losing it all, desperation. That's the only way that would have ever happened. I don't see her calmly walking in there and going, I'm going to do this. I think it would be you're never going to see these kids again, and I'm going to make sure of it, you motherfucker. I mean, I'm thinking something very heated. I'm not thinking this was just an emotional conversation. I'm thinking this was a heated argument.
Oh, yeah.
Bad, heated argument. Pent up anger from Chris Watts of all the years of, holding back, of not expressing his feelings. And I'm not saying that's Shanann's fault, because it's not. That's his fault.
And we're not saying that Shanann killed them either. I mean,
I'm just discussing all the theories.
Yeah.
If she did, I think it would have had to have been a heat of the moment thing, if that happened that way. Now, do I believe more so that Nikki could have done that to his children?
100%.
I believe it more than I see Chris Watts killing them.
Yeah.
She had no emotional connection to those kids whatsoever. She had none. She couldn't have cared less. And you can tell by her demeanor, she don't give a fuck about kids.
No.
She ain't about to have kids. She don't want to get pregnant right now. Mm-mm.
And the other thing I did find odd in her interview, it was dead summer, hot, and she came in long sleeved and a jacket with long sleeve or a vest, and you can see a huge bald patch of hair missing from her head in that video. Did anyone ever
Interesting.
notice that?
I don't think I have. We're gonna have to go over that. Write this down, guys.
Sleeves right to her
'Cause
wrist,
we'll forget.
and she has a big bald patch on the right hand side of her head.
Interesting. So yeah, we'll go over that, and then like the there's something else in her interviews that I wanted to go through. So we'll definitely do that, and we'll have to do that when you are available, Malligator, so that you can be a part of that one for sure.
So we can talk like about like how like she talks like
they
oh,
were so little.
why?
Oh my God, Jay, you sounded that was creepy. Oh my God.
They were so little.
Yeah, I can't with her.
Or no.
Or no.
Or no.
All that stress she was under, marriage, affair, bills, money, who knows? What if she caught NK there when she got home?
Mm-hmm.
What if NK was there and she got home?
Yeah.
When she caught her down in the basement.
We don't know, and that's what sucks.
Wasn't there some type of motion with a basement window?
I think so. No,
It was
the
unlocked.
basement door. No, it was the door.
Basement
It was
door.
the basement door. And
the window
think
was
about
unlocked.
think about Coder talking about the ALEXA picking up distress.
Yeah.
The ALEXA was in the kitchen. It wasn't upstairs. It was in the fucking kitchen.
Mine just plays weird ass.
So what distress was it picking up in the kitchen, and why?
Yeah.
Check the knives. What was going on there?
Yeah.
I have to see if that's really true because I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
And it picks up distress?
Mm.
I don't know if it picks up distress, but it keeps a log.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah, you can go back and see everything.
Yeah.
I know Mel
And
just
they
learned that.
had the log of it, but we've never seen it. Redacted.
Did I tell you? Did you see the other night that mine went off at 11:45 and I didn't know, and Steve was sleeping next to me on the couch. I had my earpods in and I was listening to like paranormal stuff, and he hits me and goes, "What's that noise?" And then I look and I go, "I don't know. What is that?" And it was music that I don't listen to. I can't even remember the name of the group.
Spinners.
The Spinners. Yeah. And I looked, and so I went and got his phone, and Heather J's like, "Yeah, you can look at the report." And I see where Steve said once he went to bed after, start waterfall sound, but there was prior voices, and it was a woman's voice saying, "Alexa,
play the Spinners."
It was so
and
creepy.
It was not my voice. It was a woman's voice. Okay, stop now.
I thought you unplugged her.
That is the first time, though, that it's gone off since we've been saying that all night. That's my portal.
Dude, I'd throw that portal in the trash.
I don't even use it. It just sits.
Listen, let me tell you something. The Spinners were popular starting in 1965 until about 1972.
Manson.
What are the odds of that happening?
So find out who lived in your house in those years, because they must like the Spinners.
House is new. It was built in 2013, 14. Our duplex was built.
Did you build?
What was there before? Did they tear something down?
It was just all like wetlands, like all like
maybe Indian burial ground.
I don't know. It's freaking weird though.
I mean, you are in Wisconsin, don't you know?
I know. I live in Fort Atkinson, where it was all they have.
Okay, you probably have Indians. You probably have Indians.
Blackhawks. We're the Blackhawks. Our team is the Blackhawks.
Yeah, you probably have Indian spirits. You better be nice to them, because we took their land. You know?
Don't mess with Indian spirits.
But it's weird that.
Yeah, let's look into that too, you guys. Let's make a note of that. Let's look into the Alexa stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to know where the DNA test is for Nico. If
me too.
I mean, if that's Chris's kid, no doubt about it. Why not show the DNA
Yeah, because
to
they
the
sealed
family.
it, didn't they?
Hmm?
They sealed it, so they couldn't see it, right?
They've asked for it.
Yeah, but I thought they never gave it to them, or they never took it.
They never got it. No, Chris has never seen it. He asked for it. Leo Tech says that portal gives us answers.
Right.
Don't
The
get rid of the
gives me
portal.
the creeps.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's Amy and Steve?
Who?
Call Amy and Steve. Who's that?
Steve's our husband.
Who? Whose husband?
Val.
Yeah, but why would she say call Amy and
Wait, what are you talking about? Who's Val?
I said Val, alligator.
I don't know
No,
why.
call Amy and Steve. They must be like paranormal investigators or something.
Oh,
I don't think she's talking about your husband.
No.
see, this is what I get for trying to look up the Alexa stuff.
I'm like, what?
No,
Oh my God, whose Alexa's going off? I don't even have one in here, so.
that was mine.
Mm-mm.
She can't hear me when I actually want to talk to her, but when I
Those
don't.
things are evil.
So this
Evil.
is from a professor on this device. It says the microphone and these smart speakers are always listening, but by default they are only listening for the wake word or the activation keyword. It does not record, or like, I don't know, but mine, no one said it to mine, and mine played music and said some lady's voice, so I don't know.
Well, if it never stops listening, because I've had it talk.
Yeah, me too.
And I've never not said the wake word. So it's not foolproof by any means. And I think that brings us like to our thing we were talking about, Heather J, the other day about the Google guy with the AI.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know. I mean, we don't know what these things are capable of. I mean, I just Googled, does Alexa pick up distress? And it says here that when your device, this is from cnet.com, it says when your device detects these sounds, it can launch a series of commands in response. Alexa can listen for a dog barking or a baby crying, as well as people snoring and coughing. And that's from July 9th, 2021. So they hear what you're doing just because she doesn't say hello.
Yeah.
She still hears you.
Yeah. I mean, this here says how to stop strangers from listening in on your Alexa chats. What?
Wait, say that again?
It says how to stop strangers from listening in on your Alexa chats and why you should.
Yeah, see, I'm not about that.
It says complete strangers can end up with audio recordings of your Alexa chats.
You mean like when you talk to her? Well, my Alexa chat would be, Alexa, play classic rock. Alexa, play 80s. That's the extent of me talking to my Alexa.
Well, you can also call from that word to another.
Yeah, you can. You can call for, like, I can call you from mine to yours.
You just made mine play Sweet Emotion.
Are you serious?
Alexa plays classic rock, and it just came on, and it's playing Sweet Emotion. Aerosmith. Alexa off.
Laura W. said, you guys kicked mine off. Yeah, so
Sorry.
is your daughter's name Alexa? Alligator? Yeah.
It's Alexis.
Alexis. Does she hate that it's close to Alexa?
Yes, because whenever I yell at her, sometimes it goes off in my room.
See? Isn't that stupid?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Melmo said my Alexa just went off and played Journey.
Oh, well, that's not a bad
Mine
thing.
did Aerosmith because she said classic rock.
I have my headphones on, so she can't hear
Hers
mine.
probably started playing Don't Stop Believing. Yeah, that Alexa stuff is scary. Now that with those portals,
Well, I don't use this. It's just plugged in, but
if it's plugged in, dude, they're seeing you and they can
well, it's in my office, so they're listening.
see you and hear you.
Is that the
Well,
one
it's
that
in a good
follows you?
room.
They're on your, but I have mine next to my bed that plays my thing, and that's the one that was playing weirdly the other night. And then when Heather J's like, yeah, you can listen to it, and it shows the video, and it's like literally a woman telling it to play that music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that is
So
not
it's like somebody said, Alexa, play the spinners.
Yes.
And then she started playing it.
You could hear it clear as day.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, now it's oh my God.
I'm going to get a copyright and shit.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, working my way back to you, babe.
Spinners that played it because you said it. Hold on. Listen, I'm going to play the audio of it. I'm not even kidding you. Or the video. Wait till you hear this voice.
Oh, it recorded the voice?
I recorded it on my phone. And
you can record the voice that it gives the command to?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't hear this. Okay, I missed this.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to get it right now.
Oh my God. Okay,
I'll have to show you how you can check yours.
Yeah, you can push play and it shows the voice that played the command. She told me about it. Otherwise, I would have had no idea.
I did not know that. Okay, so you guys, Maligator, her Alexa played the spinners.
Yeah, so this is, I'm going to show
by
you this.
itself, and she has the voice recorded into the Alexa, and her daughter are the only females in the house.
And it was 12 at night, so everyone was sleeping but me, and I had my AirPods in, so no one was
your
talking.
daughter have an Alexa in her room?
No, and she was dead asleep. Steve was sleeping on the couch. He wasn't even in the bedroom. And
So this is the Alexa in the bedroom playing the spinners.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna show because I recorded it. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm afraid.
Listen. Did you hear it?
What the fuck, Maligator? Play it
Listen.
again.
Listen. This is a different one. This was one that was before it that said not intended for Alexa. That was one prior. Hold on. Ready? Let me open his phone. Listen. I'm opening his phone. This is me sending it to her the other day.
It said, Alexa, play spinners.
Yeah.
And the one prior to that said, Alexa, say something, but I couldn't hear what it was saying, but it said not intended for Alexa. And
Can you send those to me and I can put them in my program and like get rid of the background noise?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's freaky.
Isn't that creepy?
Wait, and this is what I walked. This is how loud it was. Listen.
You hear music playing and you come in your room.
Just your imagination.
And this is what it is. I'm dying.
Oh my God.
It was 12:04 a.m.
And neither one of you were in the bedroom.
Nope. And that's the first time Steve has stayed up that late on the couch on a work night, but he fell asleep, so I just let him lay there. But he bumped me and said, "What is that loud noise?" And I was like, "What?" And I took out my earbud because they're sound. I can't hear anything other than what I'm watching, and I was watching paranormal stuff. And then all of a sudden, I go, "What the hell is that?" And I thought it was coming from Lexi's room, and I go, "That's her Alexa in our bedroom." So then I messaged the other day. I was like, what the hell? And so she goes, "It's got to be on an app." Well, I didn't know he had an app. So then he just was like, "Whatever, I'm going to bed. I'm tired." So I took his phone and she showed me how to like get through it and play who requested it. And it was that woman's voice.
I told her to burn the whole house down.
Yeah, hell no.
I was like, you're keeping me out.
Laura, look at what Snow said. That'd be too much for me to handle. And then look at Laura W. Oh, you need some sage and maybe a priest.
I told her she needed sage.
I sage my house, but I also like this. I love paranormal stuff. So for me, it's not, it doesn't bother me. I just thought it was weird as hell.
Wait, look at Tracy V. I would pack up and scoot.
Yeah, it was a little creepy. It was very, I'm sending it to you,
You
Jay.
need to put that device next to
I can't wait. I'm going to open them up on my computer.
I'm going to send it to you and show you how I looked it up, because then you can see the ones that Steve does, because it shows his little person. It shows a little yellow person that it's Steve.
That it's him.
Because
it recognizes the voice.
Yeah, and this one didn't show anybody, but it recorded that voice of the woman.
Weird. Has there been anything since then?
Well, just like it kept the like once he left for work, it kept turning on and off, so I couldn't sleep in the morning. And Lex
Oh
was
my
like, "What is
God.
going on with your Alexa?" She's like, "It's been going on and off all morning." I'm like, "I don't know." So he's like, "Just unplug it for the whole day." So I did, and now it's been fine. But I'm like, I think we need a new one.
Oh
Yeah, I text Mel
God.
the next day. I'm like, "How's the
That's the
Alexa?" She goes,
last
"I
thing you need.
unplugged it."
That's the last thing you need is another one of those things.
That portal over here is just still like playing music. I just had to mute it. I got to turn it off. It's still playing the spinners.
Heather Brett said, "Oh my gosh, could you imagine Alexa and Lampagator having conversations?" Lampagator. Oh man. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off. It's been a long live, but it's been very informative and actually kind of refreshing to go over some things and notice things we didn't notice before.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a great live. It was a very like eye-opening, refreshing, and it was nice to have new stuff, not just, you know.
The same old, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat, for being so awesome and informative and participating. Appreciate you. So now you guys can dance it out and then go to bed.
To the spinners.
No spinners here and no look at your game, girl. I will not subject anyone to that anymore. We are done with the Manson. On to the next case. All right, you guys. See you guys soon. Bye, Heather. Bye, Maligator.
Bye.
Love you guys. Have a great night. Tomorrow is hump day. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, I gotta work. Bye.
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 I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, 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 damn. You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much and now you